Chapter 1964. Oh, I'll play this role. Book C Pavilion, Lin Yi pointed at a guy in the music video. This was a minor character from the start. He sat in front of the desk and didn't move at all. The girl beside him was also a minor character. Bai Weitua didn't understand why Lin Yi chose this character. There were a lot of minor characters, and Lin Yi only chose one of them. Other than that, there were a lot of supporting characters that followed Su Shirhan. Aw. Lin bro, are you sure? Just a minor character. Bai Weitua was surprised. I'm not good at acting. This minor character is good enough, Lin Yi said. Lin Yi didn't have much interest in standing out at the freshman party. Lin Yi didn't flirt with girls, and he didn't do it to please anyone. He only played a minor character because this was a group activity, and it was organized by Bai Weitua. It wouldn't be good if he didn't act. Okay. Bai Weitua saw that Lin Yi insisted, so he didn't say anything else. Then, Xinyan sis-in-law, she's the same as me, a minor character. Lin Yi knew that Xinyan didn't like being in the limelight, so he made the decision for her. Lin Yi basically had nothing to do for the rest of the rehearsal. After saying goodbye to Bai Weitua, Lin Yi left the dorm. When he went downstairs, a figure ran up quickly. If it wasn't for Lin Yi dodging in time, he would have bumped into Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't want to say anything to this kind of reckless person, but he didn't expect that this person was someone he knew. Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with surprise. Han Jingjing. Why are you in the boys' dorm? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing strangely. Didn't the girls' dorm not allow boys to enter freely? Did the boys' dorm not have this rule? Didn't you say that you were going to rehearse? Did Bai Weitua call me? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi even more strangely. Why aren't you rehearsing? I mean, how did you get into the male dormitory? Didn't the guard at the door stop you? Lin Yi asked. No, why did he stop me? He even smiled at me. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi in confusion. Then you can go up to room 444. I'll be a cameo, so I don't need to rehearse, Lin Yi said. Why don't they rehearse? Han Jingjing asked. There's no why. Lin Yi simply didn't answer her. Otherwise, it would be endless. Then I'll play a minor role too, so there's no need to rehearse. Book C Pavilion. Han Jingjing nodded and said, Lin Yi Gij, where are you going? I'm going home, Lin Yi said. Then I'm going home too. You can drive me back, Han Jingjing said. Let's go. Lin Yi didn't want to reject her. It would be a waste of time. Faubert was leaving in the afternoon. Although Pingzhan knew that he had found his long-lost wife, there were still a lot of things to do at the company. Faubert had to report back as soon as possible. If it was feasible, he could set up a branch here. That way, Faubert could meet Grandma's son often. Lin Yi Gij, you and Wang Xinyan are a couple. Why are you living with Meng Yao and Yushu? Han Jingjing didn't stop talking after getting in the car. First, Wang Xinyan and I are not a couple. Second, it's called sharing, not living together, Lin Yi explained. Oh, then Lin Yi Gij you are single. Han Jingjing said happily. That's great. No, I have a girlfriend, Lin Yi said. Then why didn't I see her? Where is she? Han Jingjing asked. That has nothing to do with you, Lin Yi said. Then you and Xinyan sit together every day, and you live with Meng Yao and Yushu. Doesn't your girlfriend get jealous? Han Jingjing asked again. Not jealous. Why do you have so many questions? Lin Yi frowned. Many. Didn't teacher say that if you don't understand something, don't be ashamed to ask? Han Jingjing said innocently. Then ask someone else. Lin Yi said. Chapter 1965. It didn't matter if Grandma's son could regain her previous strength, Falbert didn't care too much about it. What Falbert cared about was when she could regain her memory. Since you've thought of it, let's try it now. Linny nodded and said, let's start now. What do you want me to do? Grandma's son asked quickly. You don't need to do anything, just use your mantra like you normally do, and absorb the chi of heaven and earth. Linny said. Okay. Grandma's son nodded to show that she understood. Linny, on the other hand, held Grandma's son's wrist pulse, and started the first level of the art of dragon mastery. However, the familiar feeling of chi flowing into Grandma's son's body from his hand didn't happen. There seemed to be no exchange of chi between the two of them, which made Linny very confused. Grandma's son, you didn't use your Nigong mantra. Linny asked curiously. I used it. Grandma's son nodded and said, I've been using it, but I can't absorb any chi from your body, something's wrong. Linny frowned and continued to use the art of dragon mastery to convert his universal chi into the same chi as Falbert, but there was still no movement, as if the chi couldn't be absorbed by Grandma's son at all. Book C Pavilion Net. According to Lin Yi's previous situation, Lin Yi didn't need to deliberately use the art of dragon mastery to convert chi into a specific kind of chi. As long as the recipient of the chi used his own Nigong mantra, the art of dragon mastery would automatically convert the chi into the chi that the recipient needed. But this situation was different now. Not only could Grandma's son not convert Lin Yi's chi into the chi that she needed, she couldn't even absorb the chi that Lin Yi had converted. It still doesn't work. Grandma's son shook her head and said. What's going on? I have already transformed my innate chi into the same innate chi as Falbert, but Grandma's son still can't absorb it. Lin Yi said with a frown. That's a little strange. Falbert was originally full of expectations, but it also turned into a mind full of questions. This was the first time Lin Yi had encountered such a strange situation. In the past, this method of helping others level up had always been successful for Lin Yi, and he had never encountered a situation where it failed. Could it be that the Sun family's mental cultivation method is different from normal cultivation, and cannot be improved using your special method? Grandma's son thought of a very important problem. After all, the Sun family's mental cultivation method is not for cultivation, it is a kind of supplementary mental cultivation method. Support mental cultivation method. I think I've figured something out. Let me think about it. Although Lin Yi said this, in his heart he wanted to find Zhao Yazi to verify whether his idea was correct. He pretended to close his eyes and think, but in his heart he asked, Zhao Lao, what's going on? Why is this happening? Isn't my innate chi the universal innate chi? Why doesn't it work on Grandma's son? Falbert and Grandma's son saw that Lin Yi was closing his eyes and thinking, so they didn't dare disturb him. They just sat quietly and waited. When Zhao Lao heard Lin Yi's question, he didn't have too many doubts. He just thought for a moment and said, if my deduction is correct, Grandma's son's mental cultivation method should be to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual chi, and transform it into a special form of energy from the Sun family's mental cultivation method. This form of energy can also be transformed into innate chi that Falbert can use through Grandma's son's mental cultivation method, and then transferred to Falbert. But, because of the special nature of her mental cultivation method, she can only absorb the heaven and earth spiritual chi, and can't directly absorb your transformed innate chi. Oh? But why can other people directly transfer their transformed innate chi to her? If that's the case, then can I directly transform it into Grandma's son's unique energy form? Lin Yi asked. I'm afraid that won't work either. The support type of mental cultivation method is not the same as the normal type of mental cultivation method. Her mental cultivation method should only be able to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual chi, and it must be the most primitive heaven and earth spiritual chi that hasn't been transformed in any way. In other words, the pure energy in the jade pendant, as long as it has been transformed, it can't be absorbed anymore. Jiao Lao said, just like you can transfer innate qi to other people, but other people can't transfer innate qi to you, me. I can't, right? General Wei Wu and Tianlei Pig's innate qi is exactly the same as the innate qi in my body, I can use it. Lin Yi said. I'm talking about other people, did I talk about spirit beasts? Pay attention to people. Zhao Yazi said speechlessly. Ah, is that so? Lin Yi suddenly felt a little awkward, so, other than letting Grandma's son absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi or pure energy, other than that, there's no other way to increase her strength? That should be it, of course, you can let me study Sun Family's mental cultivation method, and I'll think about other ways. Zhao Lao said. Looks like it won't work for now. Lin Yi nodded. Zhao Lao's deduction was similar to Lin Yi's, but Lin Yi's analysis wasn't as thorough as Zhao Lao's. Zhao Lao explained the reason from the theory, but Lin Yi only roughly guessed the result. Lin Yi opened his eyes and said to Faubert, if my deduction isn't wrong, Grandma's son's mental cultivation method should be to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi and transform it into a special form of energy from Sun Family's mental cultivation method and store it in her body. Then, Lin Yi explained Zhao Lao's words to Grandma's son and Faubert. This kind of learning and applying on the spot made Zhao Yazi look down on Zhao Yazi, but Zhao Yazi didn't say much. He almost never interfered with Lin Yi's daily life, and he was too lazy to interfere. He only guided Lin Yi's path of cultivation. So that's how it is, looks like it won't work. Faubert listened to Lin Yi's explanation, and suddenly felt very disappointed. He couldn't help but sigh and said, in this case, we can only rely on Grandma's son's own efforts. Li Fu, you don't have to worry too much about it. It's already a good thing to be able to get the Sun Family's mental cultivation method and practice it again. It's only a matter of time before you regain your memory. There's no need to rush. Grandma's son smiled and said, there's still a long way to go. Yes, there's still a long way to go. Faubert nodded and said, I was too anxious. In fact, you have already accepted me again. Think about it carefully. It's not too important whether you regain your memory or not. Lin Yi saw that Faubert and Grandma's son were very open about it, and he was relieved. Chapter 1966. If Grandma's son's qi wasn't in her head but in other parts of her meridians, Lin Yi could help to expel it. However, the qi was in her head, so Lin Yi didn't dare to act rashly. He was afraid that it would cause more damage to Grandma's son's head, so it was better for Grandma's son to cultivate on her own. Book C Pavilion, net. After sending off Faubert with Grandma's son returned to her room to continue cultivating. Now, other than cleaning up the house, Grandma's son spent the rest of her time cultivating. She found something to do, so she wouldn't be so bored every day. Lin Yi was about to go back to school, but he heard the doorbell outside the villa. Who would come at this time? Obviously, it wasn't Xiao Shu and Xiao Xiao. They were rehearsing in the afternoon. Even if they came back, they had the key. Faubert just left. Could it be that Faubert came back? When he opened the door of the villa, he saw Han Jingjing standing outside. Why are you here? Is there anything else? Lin Yi was a little depressed when he saw Han Jingjing. This girl was too clingy, and she always asked tricky questions that were hard to answer. Lin Yi usually kept his distance from her. I want to get the property certificate. Can you accompany me? Han Jingjing asked. Get the property certificate. Go get it yourself. Do you need someone to accompany you? Lin Yi was a little speechless. She accompanied her to school, she accompanied her to the bathroom, and now she wanted him to accompany her to get the property certificate. My car is at school. How can I go without a car? Han Jingjing said. Book C Pavilion, net. Pfft. Your car is at school, and you want to come back with me. Is there something wrong with your brain? Lin Yi didn't know what to say after hearing Han Jingjing's words. It saves gas. Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly, if I take your car, wouldn't I be able to save money on gas? You came home just to collect these procedures? Lin Yi glanced at Han Jingjing, who was holding a portfolio in her hand. He also had one, which was given to him by the agent. When the property certificate was issued, he would use these documents to get it from the administrative hall. Yes. Han Jingjing nodded. Then why didn't you drive when you knew that you were going to apply for a property certificate? Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Don't I have you? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi strangely. If you drive, why should I drive? Am I stupid? Lin Yi took a deep breath and thought to himself, you're not stupid, I'm stupid. I'm a fool, okay. Shaking his head, Zhang Xian calmed himself down and said, wait a moment, I'll go get my property certificate too. Oh, so you're going to get a property certificate too? Why didn't you say so earlier? I felt a little guilty. Now, you're just taking me there on the way. Han Jingjing said happily. Book C Pavilion Web. I. Lin Yi pointed at Han Jingjing, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Was this girl from planet Namek? Why did she think differently from normal people? So, Lin Yi guessed that it would be useless to tell her, so he might as well not say it. Turning around and entering the villa, Lin Yi took out the portfolio given by the agent. According to the agent, the property certificate would be issued in about half a month, and he could go to the administrative hall to get it. Now that the military training was over, it had been half a month, but Lin Yi wasn't in a hurry. He thought that he would go get it during the weekend, but he didn't expect that Han Jingjing would ruin his plans. After getting in the car, Lin Yi set up the navigation system in the administrative hall and drove out of the Shuashang district with Han Jingjing. You left your car at school, and you don't need to care about it. Lin Yi asked. Yes, so you can accompany me to school at night and get the car back. Also, you can pick up my brother from school. Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi really wanted to slap himself, how could his mouth be so fast? It was just a random topic, but he didn't think that it would cause him trouble. Can't you just let your brother drive it back? Lin Yi suggested. My brother doesn't know how to drive. Han Jingjing said. Then why are you taking my car back? Do you have nothing better to do? Lin Yi almost broke down if it wasn't for the strict training he had gone through. His mental endurance wasn't something a normal person could compare to. Why do you say that? Aren't you going to pick up Yao Yao and Shu tonight? Han Jingjing asked. That's good, they both know how to drive. I'll let them drive your brother's car back. Lin Yi thought about it and agreed. He still had to pick up Meng Yao and Yushu. Okay. Han Jingjing agreed readily. Lin Yi finally breathed out in relief. He was about to say something when Han Jingjing continued, but my brother doesn't have the car keys. We have to give them the car keys. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's go to school together. With that, Lin Yi shut his mouth and didn't say another word to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi didn't want to die from anger. There weren't many people in the office at this time. Lin Yi parked the car downstairs and got the property certificate with Han Jingjing. It didn't waste much time. Lin Yi was about to go back to the villa when Han Jingjing said, Is there an antique market nearby? Lin Yi bro, can you bring me around? What are you going to the antique market for? Lin Yi asked curiously. I want to buy a cauldron. Han Jingjing said. Cauldron? Why do you want to buy that? Lin Yi frowned, but his heart was slightly shocked. A cauldron was something used by an alchemist. Although this thing was also used by Taoists in ancient times for alchemy, so this kind of thing would sometimes appear in the antique market. But Han Jingjing was a student. Why would she buy a cauldron? To study alchemy. Han Jingjing didn't hide it and told Lin Yi the truth. Alchemy. Lin Yi was shocked. Who was this Han Jingjing? She actually knew about alchemy. Could she be a disciple of some hidden family or ancient sect? Yeah, you don't know about alchemy. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with an even more strange expression. You came to study medicine, but you haven't heard about alchemy. Then do you know what an alchemist is? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's surprised look and smiled bitterly in his heart. Was the profession of alchemist so common that ordinary people knew about it? You're talking about the legendary refiners in the world of practicing? Lin Yi asked without batting an eyelid. Ah, so Lin Yi bro knows about it too. I knew it. Those who come to Boss Bai to study medicine are more or less the children of their families who are in the pharmaceutical industry. Han Jingjing nodded and said, I want to be an alchemist, so I applied for medicine. Then do you know how to become an alchemist? Lin Yi continued to ask. Chapter 1967. I don't know. Han Jingjing shook her head blankly. Do you know, Lin Yi bro? I don't know either. Book Ocean Pavilion. Lin Yi said faintly. There was no way he'd tell a classmate he'd only known for a few days that he had Zhang Liju's notes. You don't know. What kind of cauldron did you buy? I can study it. Han Jingjing said, besides, I've found a lot of information about elixir refiners on the internet. I want to study it myself. Besides, I always go to the antique market. Maybe I can find an elixir refiner's practitioner's arts. I see, go ahead and study it then. Lin Yi didn't say anything. It seemed like this Han Jingjing had heard about elixir refiners from somewhere and started to study elixir making, but she didn't know how to do it. Of course, it'd be weird if she became an elixir refiner that easily. With that thought, Lin Yi let go of his suspicions. Normal people didn't know about practitioners and elixir refiners, but those rich people who hired practitioners as bodyguards would still know about practitioners, and as for elixir refiners, those practitioners would definitely know about them. So it was normal for a rich girl like Han Jingjing to have a practitioner as a bodyguard, and it wasn't hard for her to find out about elixir refiners from her bodyguards, but it seemed like she was obsessed with elixir refiners, and she even applied for a major in university. Yes, yes. Han Jingjing nodded heavily. Lin Yi bro, don't you like elixir refiners? I don't know how to do it even if I do, Lin Yi said faintly. Then when I learn it, I can teach Lin Yi bro, and then we can dual practice together. Han Jingjing said. Pfft. What? Dual cultivation. Lin Yi coughed twice, shocked by Han Jingjing's words. Yeah, isn't practicing elixir refiners together dual practice? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi, confused. Alright, when you learn it, I'll dual cultivate with you. Lin Yi was too lazy to explain too much to Han Jingjing. This little girl had probably become stupid from studying alchemy and herbs since she was a child. If he explained too much to her, she would definitely ask why, so Lin Yi decided not to explain. That's great. Then, big brother Lin Yi, it's a deal. It's a deal. Han Jingjing stuck out her little finger. What? Lin Yi frowned. Pinky promise. Han Jingjing said, only pinky promise can guarantee that you are not lying. Okay. Pinky promise. Seeing that Han Jingjing was going to talk endlessly again, Lin Yi quickly interrupted her, stretched out his little finger to hook with her, perfunctorily completed the task. Book C Pavilion, net. Pinky promise. You can't change it. Han Jingjing said. No change. Can we go now? Lin Yi started the car and said helplessly. No, aren't we going to the antique market now? I want to study alchemy, so I have to buy a medicine cauldron. If I don't study, how can I teach you? Big brother Lin Yi, you won't not support me, right? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi pitifully and asked, we have pinky promise. Lin Yi looked at the time and found that there was still a lot of time before school ended, so he nodded and said, okay, then let's just walk around. The antique market in Donghai City was located near the Dongtian Gate. Lin Yi had never been here before. He could only rely on the direction of the GPS to come to one of the largest antique market in Donghai City and even the entire province. Because Donghai was a provincial capital, the antique market in Donghai City was much larger than other cities. Lin Yi parked the car in the parking lot of the antique market. The parking fee was 20 yuan, which made Lin Yi feel a little cheated. This antique market was really something for the rich to play. Even the parking fee was more expensive than other places. Fortunately, Lin Yi didn't care about this little money. After parking the car, he walked into the antique market with Han Jingjing. The antique market was very big. There were all kinds of things for sale. There were all kinds of things, real and fake. It was difficult to buy the real thing if one wasn't an expert. However, Lin Yi wasn't interested in buying antiques. There were so many treasures in the ancient tomb, but Lin Yi didn't take any of them away, let alone spend money to buy these things. What Han Jingjing wanted to buy was a medicine cauldron. This kind of thing wasn't common. Generally, it depended on luck. However, there were many imitations. It was just that the material of this kind of thing wasn't much different from the real thing. It was either cast iron or copper, which was enough for a junior alchemist. The two of them came with a purpose. Lin Yi had the idea of looking around casually, while Han Jingjing was specifically looking for a medicine cauldron. Therefore, the two of them were basically looking around. After walking through more than half of the market, Han Jingjing finally found a stall that specialized in selling medicine cauldrons. How much is this medicine cauldron? Han Jingjing directly picked up a cast iron medicine cauldron that looked similar and asked. This was used by the Ming Dynasty's celestial protector, Daoist Zhang. When the seller saw Han Jingjing's dress, he knew that she was a rich girl. She probably didn't know anything about antiques, so he directly started to bluff. Big brother Lin Yi, is this person stupid? I asked him how much is he selling it. Why did he say so many inexplicable words? Han Jingjing put down the medicine cauldron and said to Lin Yi. AI. Little girl, how can you talk like that? Who are you calling stupid? When the stall owner heard Han Jingjing scolding him, he suddenly became a little unhappy. Big brother Lin Yi, look at this person. Not only is he stupid, but he also doesn't know his place. The things he sells are definitely not good. Let's go to someone else's shop and have a look. Han Jingjing turned around and was ready to leave. Wait, don't go. I'm not telling you the origin of the medicine cauldron. If you don't want to listen, we can talk about the price. When the stall owner saw that Han Jingjing was about to leave, he immediately became anxious and quickly stopped her. Big brother Lin Yi, let's go. Han Jingjing was determined to leave. Lin Yi was helpless. He had to turn around and follow, however, before the two of them could walk far, two burly men blocked their way. What do you want? Han Jingjing looked at the two big men in front of her vigilantly. You want to leave after breaking the medicine cauldron? It's not that easy. One of the big men said coldly. They were punks in this area. The merchants in this antique market all paid them protection fees. Naturally, they would help these people solve some problems. It was a mutually beneficial thing. Just now, the stall owner was scolded by Han Jingjing. He was already a little unhappy. Seeing that the business that was in his hands was gone, he naturally felt even more uncomfortable. So, he found two punks to teach Lin Yi and Han Jingjing a lesson. In the stall owner's view, both of them were dressed like students. Han Jingjing was also wearing famous brands. With one look, he could tell that they were rich people. It was naturally not difficult to squeeze some money from them. Chapter 1968. Moreover, the medicine cauldron that Han Jingjing picked up just happened to have a corner missing. In fact, it was deliberately made like this to show that it was old. It was an antique work of art, but at this moment, it was a good opportunity to blackmail. Book C Pavilion / broke the medicine cauldron. You mean the one just now? I just picked it up and looked at it. Han Jingjing knew that these two people were deliberately sent by the stall owner to make things difficult for her. There was a trace of panic in her eyes, but when she thought that Lin Yi was by her side, she felt more at ease. Whether it is broken or not, we will know when we go back. The other man made a gesture and said, "Please, don't make things difficult for us. Then let's go back and have a look." Lin Yi didn't put these two people in his eyes at all. Lin Yi had other plans when he went back. The stall that sold medicine cauldrons was quite complete. If Han Jingjing didn't leave, Lin Yi also planned to take one back to study and practice. This antique market was very big, and Lin Yi didn't have the mood to continue shopping. Moreover, Lin Yi also saw that there was no real treasure here. Looking at the customers coming and going, there were many experts among them. If there was a good thing, it would have been taken away by them. Moreover, Lin Yi didn't expect to get what he needed here. Han Jingjing listened to Lin Yi and naturally didn't refuse. She turned around with Lin Yi and returned to the previous stall under the escort of the two men. "Little girl, this medicine cauldron, when you put it in, you broke a corner. Isn't it a bit inappropriate to leave like this?" The stall owner naturally couldn't blatantly blackmail. After all, he was a local resident here. He didn't dare to be too extreme. If these two students didn't know what was good for them and called the police or went to the market management office, then he would be in trouble. "Broken?" Han Jingjing frowned. "It's here, look." The stall owner picked up the medicine cauldron and pointed to the ear on the side of the medicine cauldron. Indeed, there was a broken ear. "Did I do this?" Han Jingjing looked at the hole on the cauldron in surprise. "This is an antique. Naturally, it has to be handled with care. You just threw it on the table with a bang, so it's normal for a corner to be broken," the stall owner explained. "Ah. Brother Lin Yi. Am I that powerful? You can break the cauldron." Han Jingjing looked at her hand and said in surprise. "Oh, what do you want to do?" Lin Yi ignored Han Jingjing and looked at the stall owner indifferently. He asked. This medicine cauldron was the Ming Dynasty's celestial protector. The stall owner began to talk non-stop. "It's not wrong to say that you're stupid. I asked you what you want to do, and you're not answering my question." Lin Yi interrupted the stall owner impatiently and asked coldly. "Ah, big brother Lin Yi, you can also see that this stall owner is stupid." "See, I'm right." When Han Jingjing heard that Lin Yi agreed with her point of view, she immediately became very happy. "Humph." The stall owner snorted coldly, but he wasn't in the mood to care about this. His main purpose was to extort, not to quarrel, so he said directly, "This medicine cauldron is 50,000 yuan. Take out the money. It has been broken by you, so I can only sell it to you." "Oh." Lin Yi picked up the medicine cauldron, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "This medicine cauldron is from the Ming Dynasty. Only 50,000 yuan. That's really cheap. I say, boss, is there something wrong with your brain? You. The stall owner quoted 50,000 yuan, which was already a sky-high price among imitations. The normal price of this thing was only a few hundred yuan. He wanted 50,000 yuan, which was already a lot. He didn't expect the other party to think that it was too little. The boss was wrong just now. It's 500,000 yuan. The macho man behind Lin Yi suddenly said, 500,000 yuan, not a single portion less. Hurry up and take out the money, or we'll be in trouble. When the boss heard the macho man's words, he was suddenly happy. Although he knew that even if he got the 500,000 yuan, he would probably have to share it with these two people. He estimated that he had to give half to these two people, but he could get 250,000 yuan, which was a lot more than the previous 50,000 yuan, so he immediately said, yes, it's 500,000 yuan. I was wrong just now. 500,000 yuan. Hee, you mean that if I give you 500,000 yuan, this medicine cauldron will belong to me? Lin Yi weighed the medicine cauldron in his hand and asked. Of course. The stall owner nodded and replied. Oh, since it's mine, then I can deal with this medicine cauldron however I want. As Lin Yi said this, he squeezed his hand. The originally solid cast iron medicine cauldron couldn't even be compared to mud in Lin Yi's hand. It was directly squeezed into an iron ball by Lin Yi. Then, with a pang sound, he threw it on the table. The quality of your medicine cauldron is so bad, and you said that we broke it? It can be crushed with just a squeeze, and you dare to ask for 500,000 yuan. Ah! When the stall owner saw that Lin Yi suddenly squeezed the medicine cauldron into a piece of iron, he was immediately dumbfounded and couldn't say a word. And the two macho men behind Lin Yi's face changed. Although these two men were gangsters from a nearby gang, there was also a master in the early phase of the golden class in the gang. Crushing the medicine cauldron, that master could also do it, but he was the most powerful existence in the gang, even the gang leader respected him. But this young man in front of them actually had such strength, how could this not surprise these two gangsters? They weren't fools. The move that Lin Yi showed just now was obviously intentional. If they didn't know what was good for them, they would probably be beaten up. This kind of ruthless person that even the gang leader respected, how could they dare to offend? I have eyes but failed to recognize empty tie. Both of you are from a noble family, right? I'm sorry if I offended you just now. One of the macho men quickly cupped his fist at Lin Yi, then pulled the other macho man and prepared to leave. And the other macho man gave the stall owner a look, lowered his voice and said, Old Wang, did you see wrongly? How could these two young masters and young mistresses deliberately destroy your broken medicine cauldron? It's just 50 yuan of trash, even if they broke it, it's giving you face. After that, the two of them quickly left. Anyway, they had already hinted to the stall owner that if he didn't be careful and offended someone, then it wasn't something that these two punks could solve. In fact, at the moment when Lin Yi crushed the medicine cauldron, the stall owner knew that he had kicked an iron plate. Looking at the reaction of the two gangsters, the stall owner was even more afraid. It turned out that these two were ruthless people. If he had known this earlier, he wouldn't have extorted them. I was just joking just now. This medicine cauldron is only 50 yuan, it's not worth mentioning. In the blink of an eye, the 500,000 yuan medicine cauldron became 50 yuan, but the stall owner's expression was very natural, as if he didn't mention 500,000 yuan at all. I called the two of you here to apologize. These medicine cauldrons are all imitations. I said that they were from the Ming dynasty, but that was bullsh*t. In order to express my apology, the two of you can just take a few medicine cauldrons. If you like this work, I welcome you to come to Starting Point and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1969. Really? Han Jingjing was overjoyed when she heard that it was free. You're not that stupid. Hee hee, of course, we can't always be stupid, right? After hearing what you said, I was enlightened. I'm not stupid anymore, so you're my great benefactor, you can pick whatever you want. In order to avoid trouble, the stall owner tried his best to please Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. Book C Pavilion / the two hoodlums had made it very clear that these two might be from noble houses. There were many noble houses in Donghai, but no matter which one, even if it was the Kong family that hadn't become a noble house yet, they could easily deal with an antique seller like him. So naturally, he didn't dare to offend them. Han Jingjing picked a bronze cauldron that looked good, and Lin Yi also randomly picked one to study. But when they left, Lin Yi still gave the stall owner 200 yuan because Lin Yi didn't want to take advantage of him. 200 yuan was the cost of these two cauldrons plus the one he broke earlier. After sending the two away, the stall owner wiped his sweat. He thought to himself, I can't scam people anymore. I almost got into trouble today. Luckily, I was smart, and those two didn't want to teach me a lesson. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll be in danger. After buying the cauldrons, Lin Yi didn't want to continue looking around, and Han Jingjing's goal was the cauldron. So the two left the antique market and went straight to school. It was almost time for school to end. Donghai Industry University. The news spread very fast in the school. Especially the news that Su Shihan was going to attend the freshman party. Naturally, the news spread throughout the school in no time. Although everyone was doubtful about this news, the medical students all patted their chests confidently, claiming that they had already video chatted with Su Shihan, and Su Shihan had personally chosen the performance for them in the video. Not only that, Su Shihan was coming tomorrow, and she would rehearse with them and go to the freshman party together. Also, the class leader of the medical major, Bai Weituo, said on the school's BBS that this was actually a challenge. His performance was all for a girl he liked. Bai Weituo simply wrote down the bet between him and Zhang Duopan on the BBS. The purpose of this was to prevent Zhang Duopan from going back on his word and not admitting it. Of course. More importantly, it was to win He Meiyue's favor. Bai Weituo's writing was very emotional. He said that his true feelings for He Meiyue had touched Su Shihan, so Su Shihan helped him after knowing that He Meiyue was his fan. Although this theory was very far-fetched, let's not talk about how Bai Weituo knew Su Shihan. Even if he managed to contact Su Shihan wouldn't come to the freshman party for a stranger, right? If Su Shihan was this kind, then there would be things to do every day, and she wouldn't have to do anything else. But even so, some people were moved by Bai Weituo's true feelings, and He Meiyue was one of them. Meiyue, this Bai Weituo is really considerate. He knows that you're Su Shihan's fan and he actually invited Su Shihan here. He even made a public post saying that it was for you. Xiaoling said excitedly. Sigh, isn't it all because of Zhang Duopan? I wonder how much Bai Weituo paid to invite Su Shihan this time. He Meiyue wasn't stupid. She knew that Bai Weituo couldn't have invited Su Shihan because he was moved by her or something. One had to know that Su Shihan's appearance fee was sky high. And normal people couldn't even invite her. And this time, if it wasn't for Zhang Duopan inviting Su Shihan's junior sister Qing Yi to the freshman party, Bai Weituo wouldn't have invited Su Shihan. Now, in order to suppress Zhang Duopan, he could only grit his teeth and invite a celebrity. He Meiyue didn't know how much Bai Weituo spent, but Zhang Duopan used his family's connections to find Qing Yi. He still spent 200,000 in appearance fee, and that was the price of a favor. One had to know. Qing Yi was just a celebrity, she couldn't be compared to Su Shihan. If it wasn't for her junior sister Su Shihan's halo, probably not many people would know her. Moreover, just singing a song on stage would cost 200,000 yuan. This price was really not low. It could be seen that Zhang Duopan spent a lot of money. Bai Weituo invited Su Shihun. From Himeyue's point of view, at least $1 million would be spent, and even $1 million would be hard to invite. Although Himeiyue knew that Bai Weituo's roommate, Lin Yi, seemed to be very rich, she didn't want Bai Weituo to owe Lin Yi too much. Among the many pursuers, Himeiyue had high hopes for Bai Weituo. So, if she really chose Bai Weituo, naturally, she didn't want Bai Weituo to owe too much, because Himeiyue wasn't a person who liked to owe others. Meiyue, you don't seem very happy. If someone performed for me, I'd be so happy, but that Zhao Xingji guy, other than being fat and inviting me to dinner, he doesn't know anything. Chai Xiaoling said enviously. Man, I hope it's like you. Do you think it's a good thing to have a guy fighting for you? Himeiyue shook her head. As the two were talking, Wang Xinyan pushed the door open and entered the room. Chai Xiaoling saw Wang Xinyan and immediately said excitedly, Xinyan, how is it? Don't tell me your class really invited Su Shihun. Originally, Chai Xiaoling could have called Zhao Xingji, but she and Zhao Xingji hadn't confirmed their relationship yet, so she didn't want to be so proactive. Coincidentally, Wang Xinyan came back, so she asked Wang Xinyan. "Ah, you guys know too." Wang Xinyan also just got the news. She received Bai Weituo's call and went to Lin Yi's room, but Lin Yi wasn't there yet. So, Wang Xinyan followed Lin Yi's arrangement and learned how to perform a small role. Now that she just came back, she heard the discussion of her roommates. These people sure got the news fast. Of course, Wang Xinyan still didn't know that Bai Weituo couldn't wait to declare war. The school's BBS is spreading, it seems like it's true. Chai Xiaoling said excitedly, last time Su Shihun held a concert in Songshan, I really regret not going. It was about to be the college entrance exam, otherwise I would have definitely gone. This time, Su Shihun can attend the freshman party, it's such a good opportunity, I finally got to see Su Shihun in person. Yeah, I regretted not going, but it's about to be the college entrance exam, who can take a leave? Himeiyue said regretfully, this time, it's hard for Bai Weituo. Oh right, Xinyan, you're close with Lin Yi. This time Su Shihun came to the freshman party, did he help her? How much did he actually spend? If you like this work, you're welcome to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Target equals _blank. Chapter 1970. Ah. He knows Su Shihun. Even if he knows her, he can't just come like that, can he? Himeiyue said, shocked. How good is he to be able to invite her without spending money? I don't know about that, because I didn't ask. Xinyan shook her head. But since he's here, there's no need to feel pressured. Lin Yi won't try to impress himself. Xinyan knew Lin Yi very well. She knew that Lin Yi wasn't someone who would let himself get the short end of the stick when they met on the train. People cheated him, but he took all their money. So, this Su Shihun thing shouldn't be too difficult. But what Xinyan didn't know was that Lin Yi treated his friends very well. Even if it was difficult, Lin Yi would still try to help. But Lin Yi wouldn't do something like that. That's good. Himeiyue nodded. While the school was boiling with excitement, Zhang Duopan's face was as dark as a pig's liver as he sat in the rehearsal room, smoking. Motherfucker, Bai Weituo actually invited Su Shihun. If we invite Qing Yi, even if she can get a place, she won't be a match for Bai Weituo. Zhang Duopan cursed. This time, he was 100% sure that he would win. With Qing Yi on the stage, at least the first place of the singing competition would be his. Most of the student council members in charge of voting would vote for them. After all, they had to give face to celebrities. But now, the first place was probably Su Shihan, and the second place was Cheng Yi. Although second place was already a great result, in Zhang Duopan's eyes, it was as ugly as it could be. This was simply a slap in the face. Brother Zhang, it can't be that they're just creating hype, right? Fan Ganha also frowned as he browsed the school on his phone. The post on the S forum hesitantly said, then they will use this incident to destroy our morale and make us give up on our own accord? I don't think so. As long as Bai Weitua isn't crazy, he wouldn't use such a despicable method. Otherwise, even if he succeeded, our morale would be affected and we would have to give up our performance. He Meiwei would look down on him. Zhang Duopan shook his head and said, this matter is most likely true, but how did they invite them? We spent 200,000 to invite Cheng Yi, and that's because your dad's company asked her to endorse a product before, so they gave her a discount. How come Su Shihan's appearance isn't more than $1 million? Fan Ganha asked suspiciously. I don't know, but that Lin Yi seems to be a rich man. Maybe he paid for it, Zhang Duopan said. That bastard, I'll beat him to death sooner or later. Fan Ganha was furious when he heard Lin Yi's name. Last time in the cafeteria, he wanted to beat Lin Yi up, but the instructor came before he could do anything. He didn't have the chance to do anything, which made him very frustrated. Cheng Yi will be here tonight, I'll ask her and see if this is true or not. Su Shihan is her Shiji from the same sect, she should know about this. Zhang Duopan said. Then do we continue practicing? Fan Ganha asked. Of course, how can we not practice? When Cheng Yi comes, we'll continue to practice. Even if we lose, we have to lose with dignity. If we give up, then he Meiwei will look down on us even more. Zhang Duopan snorted. Then if you lose, Brother Zhang, won't you have to give up? Fan Ganha asked worriedly. That's fine. We'll just say that the bet was made when we drank too much last time. Everything was because we were drunk. I don't think he Meiwei will say anything. Zhang Duopan said. But if I give up directly, then he Meiwei will think that I'm afraid. That's different. Brother Zhang, you're so smart. Fan Ganha said with admiration. Of course, I'm going to take over the family's company in the future. I can't do it without some intelligence. Zhang Duopan said proudly. Lin Yi didn't know that the school was in an uproar because of Su Shihan's incident. He parked the car in the school parking lot, and Han Jingjing seemed to be interested in Su EF equals, Book C Pavilion. Shihan didn't seem to be interested. She didn't even mention it on the way. After parking the car, Lin Yi sent a message to Mississippi. Han Jingjing was also contacting her brother. Not long after, Meng Yao and Yushu came. He didn't expect Han Xiaoqiao to follow behind them like a little follower. You're not getting off. Lin Yi turned to Han Jingjing and asked. Why should I get off? Aren't you going home? Han Jingjing asked. Home, but don't you want to drive your own car? Lin Yi pointed at the X5M not far away. No, it's a lot of gas. My brother and I will go back in your car. Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly. Okay. Lin Yi was already used to Han Jingjing. He really didn't want to say anything more. Meng Yao and Yushu walked over. Yushu was originally sitting in the front passenger seat, but she frowned when she saw that it was taken by Han Jingjing. She was a little unhappy. Han Jingjing seemed to see Yushu's displeasure as well. She took the initiative to get off the car. I'll sit in the back. Since Han Jingjing said so, Meng Yao and Yushu didn't say anything more. Although they were hitchhikers, they were still neighbors. After driving home, Han Jingjing brought Han Xiaoqiao back to their villa. Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Yushu went back as well. Lin Yi, I heard you invited Su Shihan. Meng Yao asked. Yeah. Lin Yi said and told Meng Yao and Yushu about helping by Weitua chase He Meiwe. You sure have the mood to help someone else get girls. Meng Yao didn't get angry when she heard that Lin Yi was helping someone else. Oh, I thought Shield Bro was trying to get on that Fox Yan's good side. Yushu said. Man, why would I do that? Besides, she's not called Fox Yan. Lin Yi said. She's seducing Shield Bro. She's called Fox Yan. Yushu said. Alright, Shu, I told you not to give people nicknames. It's easy to offend people. Meng Yao didn't know why, but she didn't want to offend Xinyan. Perhaps Xinyan could really become Lin Yi's first wife. Chapter 1971. If that was the case, then the three would have to spend a lot of time together. If they really offended each other, then there would be no turning back. Oh. Yushu nodded unwillingly. Right, Faubert left already. Meng Yao didn't see Faubert when she walked into the villa. She only saw Grandma's son working in the kitchen. Yes, he left in the afternoon. Report the results to Uncle Chu. If it's possible, we'll set up a company branch here. Lin Yi said. Meng Yao nodded and didn't say anything else. She turned to the cauldron in Lin Yi's hand and asked, What's that? I saw Han Jingjing holding something similar in her hand just now. Cauldron. I'm going to study alchemy. Han Jingjing seems to be interested in it as well. Lin Yi said. Meng Yao didn't ask anything else after hearing that it was about alchemy. Grandma's son quickly placed the delicious dishes on the table. Meng Yao and Lin Yi finally understood why a scavenger like Grandma's son could be so good at cooking. She used to be Faubert's wife, the Miss of House Sunday. She used to be the daughter of a rich family. Marrying into Faubert's sect meant marrying into a rich family. She must have received professional training on housekeeping. After dinner, Lin Yi went back to his room. Grandma's son cleaned up the dishes and went back to her room as well. Meng Yao and Yushu sat on the sofa in the living room watching TV. Why is Shield Bro here every day? He doesn't even play with us. Yushu hugged her legs as she sat on the sofa. She suddenly felt bored. The cartoons that made her laugh didn't seem that funny anymore. Was this what it felt like to grow up? In the blink of an eye, she was already a university student. Her high school days were still vivid in her mind. Isn't he always like this? Meng Yao shook her head. When we were in Songshan, didn't he go to dinner every day? It was just that we were more nervous every day. We'd study and read books after dinner. We didn't have much time to watch TV. That's true. We're just too free now. Yushu said in boredom, Yao Yao, we haven't played in Donghai yet. Why don't we go out for a walk? Today. It's too late. Let's do it on the weekend, after the freshman's gala. Meng Yao was a little tired, and she didn't want to go out again. Lin Yi obviously went out, so she didn't want to disturb Lin Yi. All right. Yushu nodded disappointedly. After Lin Yi went back to his room, he read House Sun's Arts to Zhao Yazi and started studying the cauldron he just bought. This kind of cauldron was more than enough for a first-level Huang-class refiner, because there was a limit to the amount of elixirs a Huang-class refiner could concoct, so they didn't need a cauldron that was too good. But the problem was that Lin Yi wasn't even a first-level Huang-class refiner. He could only condense the elixir fire, but he couldn't change the temperature or the intensity of the fire. With a slight change, the elixir fire would be extinguished. Lin Yi practiced a few more times, but the result was the same. He could only put the cauldron aside in disappointment. He was a genius in other people's eyes, but in reality, he wasn't much of a genius at all. The only thing he relied on was the art of dragon mastery and the jade space. If it weren't for the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi would just be a very average talent. He was still a golden class master at 18 years old. Compared to those hidden houses and ancient sects, he was an idiot. So Lin Yi didn't force himself and put the cauldron aside. It was just that Lin Yi was worried about Xiao Xiao. 2 years seemed like a long time, but it had already been half a year. There was still a year and a half left, and if she couldn't learn alchemy by then Xiao Xiao would really become an inheritor. After entering the jade space, Lin Yi prepared to continue. There was a saying, hard work makes up for one's lack of talent. Lin Yi was already too far behind Crystal Candy, so he could only rely on hard work and the unique environment in the jade space to catch up. Jiao Lao, how is it? Did you see anything from the arts? Lin Yi asked casually. I did. Zhao Yazi's answer surprised Lin Yi. He thought that Zhao Yazi wouldn't be able to see anything in such a short time, but he really did. What? Lin Yi blinked. This is an incomplete, simplified, and improved first stage of the art of dragon mastery. Zhao Yazi said. Wow. Lin Yi heard Zhao Yazi's words, and his eyes went wide. What? House Sun's arts is the art of dragon mastery. Maybe it's from the same source, or maybe it's just a coincidence. This technique should be similar to the first level of the art of dragon mastery, but there are many parts that are incomplete, or simplified, but improved. Zhao Yazi nodded and said, the first level of the art of dragon mastery allows one to transfer pure qi to others, repair meridians, and heal injuries. All of these are in the Sun family's techniques, but the art of dragon mastery can only be used by men. EF equals fastest text update, Book C Pavilion, no advertising however, the formula is suitable for both men and women. Ah. The improved version of the art of dragon mastery. How could the Sun family have such a thing? Isn't the art of dragon mastery unique? Lin Yi was shocked after hearing Zhao Yazi's words. Who said it's unique? The art of dragon mastery, in ancient times, was the mantra of the Yellow Emperor's tribe. However, it evolved into a sect, and with the passage of time, this sect became like Chio's chrysanthemum treasured book, gradually declining until it was lost. Zhao Yazi said, the ancestor of House Sun might have been one of these sects, but he was talented and only received the incomplete first level of the art of dragon mastery. After improving it himself, it became the Sun family's technique today. So you're saying that my art of dragon mastery isn't unique? Lin Yi said as realization dawned on him. Of course not, but it should have been lost. Otherwise, the Sun family's technique wouldn't be incomplete and only have the first level of the improved version. Zhao Lao said. I see. Zhao Lao's words surprised Lin Yi. The Sun family actually had this kind of opportunity, and the ancestor of House Sun must have been an amazing person. With just the first level of the incomplete technique, he could improve the Sun family's technique. He could be described as a genius. Chapter 1972. What a waste of time. There are many extraordinary people in this world. You should be able to feel it. Your talent is actually very ordinary, but you are luckier than them. You have the space of the jade pendant, and also the art of dragon mastery. Zhao Lao said mercilessly, of course, someone like Bingtang who reached the peak of the late phase of the heaven class at the age of 10 might not be a genius. If you entered the jade space 10 years earlier, you would have reached the heaven class already. So, many things are coincidental. This art of dragon mastery was obtained by Uncle Master by accident. That's why it became your destiny. Elder Zhao, wise the way you talk these days. It's almost like you're talking about some kind of zen. Lin Yi said, looking at Elder Zhao oddly. It's nothing. I'm just reminding you not to be too proud. You have to be down to earth, Zhao Lao said faintly, but you can also practice the Sun family's technique. It's not too difficult. I can practice it. Wouldn't that waste a lot of time? What's the point of practicing it? Lin Yi asked. It's useless. Your first level of the art of dragon mastery can do everything it can do. But this woman can do it too, Zhao Yazi said. Damn, then why would I waste my time? Lin Yi was speechless. He closed his eyes and ignored Zhao Lao. He knew he was fooled. A flight slowly landed at the airport of East Ocean City, and a girl with tanned skin and oversized sunglasses walked out of the domestic arrival gate in a low-key manner. Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe, who were standing not far away, immediately walked up to her. Cheng. EF equals fastest text update, Book C Pavilion, no ads. Miss Cheng. Zhang Duopan wanted to call Cheng Yi, but he was afraid that others would hear him and watch. After all, Cheng Yi was a celebrity with a little fame. If she attracted the attention of the media, it would be hard for her to get away. This wheat-skinned girl was Cheng Yi. Her skin color looked very healthy and beautiful. This should be the effect of some kind of light, giving people a wild beauty. Compared to Su Shihan's pure white skin, it was even more eye-catching. That was why she instantly gained a lot of popularity after her debut. This was also related to her skin color, which was why she was called the Coffee Girl. Hello, young Master Pan. Cheng Yi also saw Zhang Duopan and walked over quickly. She was the spokesperson of Zhang Duopan's father's company. Naturally, she had seen Zhang Duopan several times at the company's parties and had some impression of him. Ha, Miss Cheng, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to help me. Zhang Duopan said as he extended his hand. Cheng Yi didn't have the intention to shake hands with him. It could be seen that she wasn't a casual person. So when she saw Zhang Duopan extend his hand, she very naturally passed her luggage to him and smiled, then I'll have to trouble young Master Pan. Zhang Duopan was slightly stunned. He wanted to shake hands with Cheng Yi, but Cheng Yi seemed to have misunderstood his meaning. She gave him her luggage, as if she had taken the initiative to ask for help with the bag. However, Zhang Duopan naturally couldn't refuse. He only paused for a moment and took Cheng Yi's luggage. This is what I should do. However, his heart wasn't without regret. Although he knew that it wasn't very possible between him and Cheng Yi, this kind of thing wasn't something a rich young master like him could do. Moreover, it seemed that Cheng Yi wasn't the type of female celebrity that relied on this kind of method to make money and become famous. With Su Shihan's halo, she didn't need to do these things at all. She could slowly become famous normally. However, Zhang Duopan still wanted to get closer to Cheng Yi. After all, he was also very lecherous. It was just that Cheng Yi didn't let him succeed, so he didn't continue. He didn't forget that the main purpose of inviting Cheng Yi was to please He Mei Wei and compete with Bai Wei Duo. If he wanted to chase after Cheng Yi, then it would be putting the cart before the horse. In the end, it was very likely that he wouldn't be able to chase after Cheng Yi, and He Mei Wei wouldn't be able to catch up. Therefore, he wasn't that impulsive. He pulled Cheng Yi's luggage and left the airport with her. They got on the Land Rover Aurora that was parked in the parking lot. Thank you so much this time. You really helped me out. Zhang Duopan got into the driver's seat and said to Cheng Yi, who was sitting in the back seat. It's okay. You're Mr. Zhang's son, and I'm the spokesperson of Mr. Zhang. This little bit of help is nothing. Cheng Yi said generously. However, young Master Pan said before that it might be a bit difficult to get first place in the singing category. Even if I'm a celebrity, your Donghai Industry University is one of the best universities in the province. There will always be someone stronger than you. Oh, that's right. Now that you mention this matter, I just remembered something very important. Zhang Duopan's face changed slightly and became very serious. It's like this. Originally, it wouldn't be a problem for us to get first place, but my opponent, the guy that I told you about, the guy that I want to beat, actually used his connections to invite your senior sister. My senior sister. Qingyi froze and didn't know how to react. It's Su Shihan. Fan Ganha added. Ah. They invited Su Shihan too. Qingyi froze. How can my senior sister participate in this kind of small event? As far as I know, she basically doesn't participate in all kinds of events. Oh. Missy, you don't know about this. Zhang Duopan also froze. I'm also very confused. I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm asking you for confirmation. But looking at how confident they are, it seems like it's 80% true. Because their classmates said that they already video called Su Shihan, and Su Shihan already arranged a program for them in the video. If that's the case, then I'll ask. Qingyi nodded and took out her phone to call Su Shihan. Because of Lin Yi's matter, Su Shihan kept her phone with her and didn't leave it with her manager, Wang Jia. When the phone rang, she picked it up immediately. Ha! Why are you calling at this time? Su Shihan was a bit confused. Why did Qingyi call so late at night? Senior sister, I just arrived in Donghai City. I heard that you're coming too. Qingyi asked. What? You're in Donghai City too. Su Shihan was even more confused. I'm going to Donghai City tomorrow, but why are you in Donghai City too? And how do you know that I'm going too? Target =_ blank. Chapter 1973. What a coincidence. I was invited by a friend to attend the freshman party of Donghai Industry University, but he said that you were also invited to help another class put on a show. So it's true. Qingyi said in surprise, Senior sister, I thought you never attend these kinds of events. This time it was a good friend who invited me, so I had no choice but to go. Shihan smiled, plus, I've been too busy with work lately, it's good to go out and get some fresh air. Then aren't you afraid that you might get sick? Qingyi wanted to say that she had a headache, but then she remembered that there were outsiders in the car. Only the people in the company knew that Shihan had headaches. She was Shihan's junior sister, so of course she knew about it, but it was better to be subtle. Book C Pavilion Net. And I have medicine, Miracle Dr. Guan's painkiller, you know. Shihan said. No wonder you support them so much. Qingyi nodded, oh right, us sisters haven't played together in a long time, let's use this opportunity to go out and have some fun. That's good, I'm flying tomorrow afternoon, which hotel are you staying at? I'll go find you. Book C Pavilion. Su Shihan agreed without hesitation. She had a good relationship with this junior martial sister. Both of them were pure girls, so Su Shihan liked to hang out with her. As for the other stars in the company, some were jealous of Shihan's results, so they were fake when they hung out with her. Some were that type of girls, and Shihan didn't want to be too close with them. I haven't reached the hotel yet, I'm on the way. How about this, I'll book a double room, we can stay together. Qingyi said. Okay, but tomorrow I'll go with my bodyguard driver, Feng Sanhuang, you can book a room for him too. Shihan said. Aw. You're bringing a bodyguard driver. That's so inconvenient, there's only 2 of us girls, how are we going to stay if you bring a man? It'll be troublesome to go shopping. Qingyi complained, plus, we don't have a car, so we don't need to bring him, my friend here has a car. Plus, what danger would there be here? We're attending private events. That works too. Su Shihan thought about it. Lin Yi had a car, but she wasn't going to bring a car, so Sanwang wouldn't be of much use. She nodded. Then I'll go by myself. I'll wait for you. Cheng Yi said. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Yi shrugged and said to Zhang Duopan, young Master Pan, senior sister really came this time, so I'm afraid it's impossible for me to help you get first place. So, are we still going to participate in the performance? Of course. Zhang Duopan had already expected this result. He believed that Su Shihan would come back tomorrow. He just wanted to confirm it with Cheng Yi. He wasn't too disappointed. Of course. If we can't get first place, it's because we're not as popular as your senior sister. It's not that we don't work hard, but if we don't participate, it's a matter of attitude. You're quite open-minded. I'll help you then. Cheng Yi nodded. The best hotel near the school was Shueshang Hotel. Zhang Duopan booked a double presidential suite for Cheng Yi here. It wasn't as luxurious as a 5-star hotel, but it was the best in this hotel. Luckily, Cheng Yi didn't mind it and checked in right away. Zhang Duopan didn't bother Cheng Yi anymore. He promised her that he would pick her up tomorrow and go to the school to rehearse the show. He then left the hotel. Su Shihan originally planned to go to East Ocean City with Sister Wang and Feng Sanhuang, but Cheng Yi was there as well. She thought that Cheng Yi was right, and it was meaningless to bring a driver and manager to a private event. Therefore, she booked her own ticket online. In the ancient house of Feng, Feng Tianhu sat quietly on the bed. Feng Nitian's injuries were very serious. His meridians were all broken, and he was like a vegetable right now. He had fainted after the Ice Palace test and hadn't woken up since. House Feng had also stopped supplying Nitian with the best herbs and treasures. This was because in the ancient houses, profit was the most important thing. Nitian wouldn't be able to recover no matter how many treasures he ate. Even if he used the Great Recover Pill and the Meridian Opening Pill, he would only be able to become a normal healthy person, but the damaged meridians wouldn't be able to recover completely. It was impossible for him to continue practicing. Even the alchemists from the Sky Elixir sect couldn't do anything. And so, Feng Tianhu was very angry. Nitian was his only hope. Although he had a son, his son's potential was far from Nitian's. His son only knew how to enjoy life, and he wasn't a good cultivator at all. Of course, although House Feng had given up on Nitian, Feng Tianhu hadn't. On one hand, he sent people to find the person who hurt Nitian, and on the other hand, he sent people to find a miracle doctor or medicine that could cure Nitian. Of course, he knew that the resources he had were limited. If he wanted to find a large amount of medicine and cure Nitian at all costs, he had to climb up to the peak of power in House Feng. He had to become the young master of the house, and only then would he be able to use more resources. Only then would he be able to cure Nitian. Feng Tianlin, it's not your son who's injured, and yet you're making sarcastic remarks in a family meeting. If I don't cause you some trouble, then I'll be letting you off too easily. Feng Tianhu shook his head and said faintly. However, just as he finished speaking, the phone rang. Feng Tianhu picked it up, and it was a deep male voice. This man was called Feng Sanku, and he was Feng Tianhu's follower. He was also the spy he sent to the common world to gather information. He was one of the more outstanding third-generation disciples of House Feng, and he was at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class. Back then, the hidden houses had an agreement that Earth-class experts couldn't casually come out into the world. Although it was a rule set by the hidden houses, it was a condition set by the Hidden Houses Arbitration Association. The Grand Elder of the Hidden House was someone who could fight against the ancient sects, and the founder was even more terrifying. Even the ancient sects and ancient houses had to treat him with respect. Although he had already left, the ancient sects still didn't send any Earth-class experts to the common world because of his reputation. But now, It was different, since the hidden houses had broken the rule and sent out their Earth-class masters without any punishment or restrictions. The Hidden House Association didn't do anything. Chapter 1974. Therefore, Feng Tianhu started to think about sending an Earth-rank master out as well. Sometimes, Feng Tianhu even wondered if the founder of the Hidden House Association was already dead. Otherwise, why hadn't there been any news for so many years? And not only that, even the Grand Elder had disappeared. Feng Tianhu shook his head and decided not to think about it. He picked up the phone and said, "Sanku, what's up?" "Boss, there's news. Su Shihan went to Donghai City alone to participate in a private event. Feng Sanhuang won't be following, she's alone," Sanku said. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. "Okay, I got it. Your news is very timely, very good." Feng Tianhu sneered and hung up the phone. He thought to himself, "Second brother, this time I will let you have a taste of losing your own flesh and blood. Hee, if I tell this news to second sister-in-law, will she send someone to kill that girl?" Feng Sanhuang, who was beside Su Shihan, was the same as Feng Sanku, an excellent third-generation disciple of the ancient Feng house. He was also at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class, but he was the follower of the current heir, Feng Tianlin, and Su Shihan was Feng Tianlin's illegitimate daughter. With the help of Feng Tianlin, the young master of an ancient noble house, it was understandable that Su Shihan's path to stardom was smooth sailing. Ancient noble houses were existences that even hidden noble houses didn't dare to offend. But Feng Tianlin had always thought that he was very secretive, and no one knew that Su Shihan was his illegitimate daughter. But what he didn't know was that Feng Tianhu had already investigated this matter thoroughly, and not only did Feng Tianhu know, even Feng Tianlin's wife knew. The reason why Feng Tianlin's wife didn't make a move was because Su Shihan was a girl, and it wouldn't affect her son's succession as the third head of the family. The other reason was because Feng Sanhuang was always by her side. It wasn't impossible for an ancient noble house to send an earth class to the common world, but there was an agreement between the hidden noble houses. She didn't want to go against that agreement just because of Su Shihan. Sanhuang was a disciple of the Feng family, and he knew everyone in the Feng family. At that time, if they sent people to kill Su Shihan but didn't kill Feng Sanhuang, then Feng Sanhuang would definitely report it to Feng Tianlin. Even Feng Tianlin's wife wouldn't dare to go too far. Book C Pavilion, Net. But this time, it was a good opportunity. Feng Tianhu didn't mind causing some trouble for Feng Tianlin. At the same time, he could also deal a blow to Feng Tianlin so that he wouldn't have time to compete with him for the position of the head of the family. Thinking of this, Feng Tianhu got up and walked towards the second branch. The next morning, Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant, feeling refreshed. He stretched his body. It was another beautiful day. The second stage of the art of dragon mastery was different from the increase in strength. The cultivation of the art of dragon mastery was a normal process of accumulating pure qi. Only through continuous accumulation of pure qi could one reach a higher level. However, there was no barrier like the level of strength. Perhaps it was because the first two stages were easier, but whether the later stages were easier or not, he didn't know. Anyway, every morning when Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant, he could feel his improvement. Unknowingly, the second stage of the art of dragon mastery was about 1/5 of the progress, which was 20%. Lin Yi was quite satisfied with this progress. It hadn't been long and he was already 1/5 of the way. Although the speed wasn't uniform, it would get slower and slower, but it was still much easier than the first stage. Lin Yi washed his face and went to the kitchen. Most of the time, Lin Yi cooked breakfast himself. Although Grandma's son was there, Lin Yi was used to making breakfast for the Miss and Shu. It was a habit he brought with him from Songshan, and he couldn't change it even if he wanted to. Grandma's son sometimes saw Lin Yi making breakfast, so she didn't disturb him. When breakfast was ready, the Miss and Shu woke up. Yushu saw that it was Lin Yi who made breakfast today, and she was very happy. Wow, I haven't eaten Shield Bro's food in a long time. It's great that I have something to eat today. Ahem. Shoo. Meng Yao gave Yushu a kick. Why was this girl talking so flirtatiously? It's been a long time since I've eaten Shield Bro's food. What do you want to eat? This reminded Meng Yao of Jiang Wen's condor cake or something. What's wrong? Yao Yao, don't you like Shield Bro's breakfast? Yushu asked curiously, why did you kick me? I'm just telling the truth. I like it too, hurry up and eat. Meng Yao didn't want to explain anymore. She sat down and picked up the chopsticks and started eating. That's weird, why is Yao Yao acting crazy so early in the morning? Is she on her period? No, it's around the same time as me, we're together. I'm not on my period yet. Yushu mumbled to herself. Shoo, go play somewhere else if you're not eating. Meng Yao almost went berserk after hearing Yushu's words. Ugh, I'm eating, Yushu said. There were signs of her period coming, but why was it early? Could it be that Yao Yao sis had sex with Shield Bro secretly, and then took birth control pills? Yushu thought wickedly. After breakfast, Lin Yi and the other two got ready to go to school. They didn't want to call Han Jingjing and Xiao Chao, but their X5M wasn't back yet, so Lin Yi knocked on the fence of the villa, believing that Han Jingjing could hear them. As expected, Han Jingjing brought Han Xiao Chao out of the villa, but Han Jingjing's eyes were red as if she didn't sleep well the whole night. This surprised Lin Yi. Jingjing, what's wrong? You didn't sleep well. Meng Yao saw Han Jingjing's face and asked curiously. Ugh. I was studying alchemy last night, and I lost track of time. It's already morning, Han Jingjing said, a little embarrassed. Ah. You studied it the whole night. What did you find out? Meng Yao asked, surprised. She didn't think that a girl like Han Jingjing would be so interested in alchemy. I didn't find anything. Han Jingjing felt even more embarrassed when she said that. Ugh. Meng Yao paused, not knowing what to say. Lin Yi, on the other hand, smiled bitterly and shook his head. It seemed that Han Jingjing was also a dabbler, thinking the same thing whenever she wanted. After driving to school, they separated at the parking lot. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing walked to the biology building. Chapter 1975. Lin Yi bro, do you know how to cultivate a refinement fire? Han Jingjing asked excitedly as they walked. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. I don't know, Lin Yi said. Looks like I'll have to go buy a training manual, Han Jingjing said. Buy one. Lin Yi was speechless. Right, I'll ask Mr. Bai later, see if he knows where to buy it. Han Jingjing clenched her fist as if she had just thought of a good idea. When he arrived at the classroom, the students in the class were excitedly discussing the program for the freshman party. Bai Weiduo, on the other hand, was excitedly rehearsing with a few minor characters according to the music video on his phone. He looked like he was in full swing. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, sat in her seat, quietly reading her book, as if this had nothing to do with her. She was the same as Lin Yi, acting as an extra in the show, so she didn't need to rehearse. All she had to do was sit in her seat and sing a few harmonies. Lin Yi walked over and sat beside Wang Xinyan, while Han Jingjing sat behind them. The only two girls in the class didn't want to be the main character. This made Bai Weiduo feel helpless, but there was nothing he could do. One of the girls had an ambiguous relationship with Lin Yi, and the other didn't seem to be interested in Su Shihan. This made Bai Weiduo helpless. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. Seeing Lin Yi come in, she could only walk over and beg, Lin bro, can you give me one? Give you what? Lin Yi blinked. A beauty. Bai Weituo said. Beauty. Lin Yi looked at Xinyan, then at Han Jingjing. You're letting them act in the show. Lin Yi is so smart, that's right. Bai Weituo nodded. You too, who wants to act? Lin Yi asked. I'll be like you, a cameo. Xinyan said faintly as she flipped through the textbook in her hand. What about you? Lin Yi turned to look at Han Jingjing. However, Han Jingjing did not answer directly. Instead, she turned to look at Bai Weituo and asked, Do you know alchemy? Quack. Bai Weituo was surprised. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to bring up this topic. He hesitated for a moment, but he still shook his head and said, I won't. Oh, then forget it. I want to study alchemy. I don't have time. Han Jingjing shook her head and rejected Bai Weituo's suggestion. Book C Pavilion, net. Bai Weituo sighed. He wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't. He smiled bitterly at Lin Yi and continued to lead the students to rehearse. But the good thing was that even if there weren't two girls as the main characters, there was still Su Shihan, the female lead. So when these guys surrounded her, it was like stars surrounding the moon. It was a different kind of charm. When it was about 8:00, Boss Bai walked into the classroom. Bai Weituo also stopped rehearsing. After seeing Boss Bai, he quickly said, Professor Bai. In school, Bai Weituo always called Boss Bai Professor Bai or Teacher Bai. You guys are rehearsing. Boss Bai saw the lively scene in the classroom and asked. Yes, Professor Bai. Bai Weituo nodded and said. In that case, we'll cancel the classes in the morning. You guys can continue with your rehearsals. There are no classes today and tomorrow. You guys should strive to get a good ranking for our Faculty of Medicine during the freshmen's evening party tomorrow night. Boss Bai directly made the decision to cancel the class. Our medical major hasn't won an award for several years. It's all because of that little bastard Bai Wei Kai. His ability is too weak. You're not bad. Actually, it's all Brother Lin's credit. Bai Weituo didn't dare to take all the credit and quickly said. Oh. Boss Bai looked at Lin Yi deeply and said to him, Lin Yi, after the freshman party, come find me. Have you thought about what I told you before? Before? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. He thought that Boss Bai was going to teach him some special medical skills, but what exactly was this medical skill? At this moment, Lin Yi's view of Boss Bai was completely different. Before, in Lin Yi's opinion, no matter how powerful Boss Bai was, he was just a character similar to Old Man Lin. However, since Lin Yi saw Yu Coiling Tiger's respect for Boss Bai and his respectful and serious attitude in class, it made Lin Yi feel that Boss Bai was really not ordinary. The Hidden Yu family was a big hidden family in alchemy and medicine. Their children were actually studying here so humbly, so how could Boss Bai be ordinary? After listening to Boss Bai's class, Lin Yi also had a refreshing feeling. Many of Boss Bai's theories were different from Old Man Lin's. Although both of them were right, their directions were different, which broadened Lin Yi's thinking a lot and increased his knowledge a lot. Just the basic knowledge was already like this, so what special medical skills would Boss Bai be talking about? Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but look forward to it. Thinking back to the beginning, Lin Yi didn't take it seriously, but now it seemed that he had underestimated Boss Bai. Okay, after the freshman party, I'll find a time to go and find you. Lin Yi nodded and said. Hearing Lin Yi agree, Boss Bai chuckled and was very happy in his heart. He thought, kid, weren't you not interested in it at the beginning? Now after listening to a few of my classes, you think it's different, right? Although he didn't know why Boss Bai was looking for Lin Yi, after Yu Coiling Tiger heard it, a look of envy and jealousy flashed across his eyes. He had wanted to visit Boss Bai alone for a long time, but he never had the chance. He didn't expect Boss Bai to take the initiative to invite Lin Yi to find him. This made Yu Coiling Tiger think if he should also visit after the freshman party. Boss Bai didn't invite him, but if he went, he couldn't drive him away, right? After Boss Bai finished speaking, he turned around and left, while Bai Weituo continued to rehearse with the students. Yu Coiling Tiger and his two color-haired subordinates didn't perform or cause trouble, so they sat there as ordinary extras like Lin Yi. Bai Weituo knew that these three guys were not sociable, so he didn't deliberately ask them to do anything. In fact, if it weren't for Boss Bai, Yu Coiling Tiger wouldn't even bother to participate. But in Boss Bai's territory, he wanted to learn more knowledge, so he naturally couldn't go too far. If he didn't participate, wouldn't it be disrespecting Boss Bai? Moreover, it wasn't troublesome to act as an extra. All he had to do was sit there and hum a few times to harmonize. It was quite simple. The morning passed quickly, and it was time for lunch break. Chapter 1976. Su Shihan's flight was at 1 p.m., and Lin Yi was going to the airport to pick her up. Lin Yi told Xin Yan about it and sent a message to Miss and Shu before driving to the airport. Book Ocean Pavilion.net. It was around 11 p.m., and it would be about time for Lin Yi to reach the airport. Of course, other than Lin Yi's car, there was also a Land Rover Aurora. It was driven by Zhang Duopan, and he brought Ching Yi to the airport. At the arrival gate, Lin Yi accidentally saw Zhang Duopan and a girl with sunglasses. Zhang Duopan also saw Lin Yi, and he was even more certain that Su Shihan was invited by Lin Yi. Because in room 444, only Lin Yi had a car. Although it looked low-key, only he had the ability to do so. It seemed like it was true. Since they saw each other, and they had the same goal, Zhang Duopan naturally put on a fake smile and walked over. Isn't this Lin Yi? What's wrong, coming to the airport to pick someone up? Lin Yi was confused when he saw Zhang Duopan, and he looked at the girl beside him. Lin Yi immediately guessed something. Was this girl the coffee girl, Ching Yi? But Lin Yi didn't follow celebrities, and he didn't even know the famous Su Shihan. How could he know a small celebrity who just debuted? But since she was Su Shihan's junior, it was normal for her to pick Su Shihan up. Aren't you asking the obvious? Lin Yi said faintly. What's so great about inviting Su Shihan? Even if he won, it's not by Weituo's strength. He might not admit it, and the bet won't count. Zhang Duopan's face changed. He couldn't beat Su Shihan in the freshman party, and so Zhang Duopan started to push the blame away. Really? I don't know who broke the rules first and invited a celebrity. If you didn't invite them, we naturally wouldn't have invited them either. Lin Yi looked at Zhang Duopan with a smile that wasn't a smile. This kid really didn't keep his word. Now he was going back on his words. Zhang Duopan was rendered speechless by Lin Yi, but what Lin Yi said was right. Indeed, he invited the celebrity first, so he couldn't say anything. He could only snort and say, since relying on others doesn't count, then everyone doesn't count. It's useless for you to say this to me. You can talk to Himeiwe. Lin Yi said indifferently. Book C Pavilion.net. Whether or not Zhang Duopan went back on his word had nothing to do with Lin Yi. If he wanted to shamelessly go back on his word, then Lin Yi couldn't do anything about it. At most, he could let Bai Weituo talk to Himeiwe. Don't think that you invited Su Shihan. Let me tell you, Su Shihan will leave with Ching Yi later. I think you came here for nothing. Zhang Duopan snorted. Oh. Lin Yi replied. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't care about him, Zhang Duopan was even angrier. He felt like he was playing the lute to a cow. He snorted and walked towards Qing Yi, ignoring Lin Yi. After a while, Su Shihan's flight information was broadcasted. The flight had already landed, and there would probably be passengers coming out in a while. Sure enough, not long after, a group of people walked out of the exit. In this group, there was a person wearing a black trench coat, a black cap, oversized sunglasses, and an oversized scarf. If it wasn't for the figure, it was hard to tell whether it was a man or a woman. This person was obviously Su Shihan. She was much more disguised than Qing Yi, but Su Shihan was much more famous than Qing Yi, so her armor was much tighter. Qing Yi was more familiar with Su Shihan. She immediately recognized Su Shihan and waved at her. Han sis. Hee. Shihan also saw Qing Yi and nodded to her with a smile. Qing Yi didn't call Su Shihan by her name. She only called her sister Han, so no one in the airport would think too much about it. Su Shihan also saw Lin Yi not far away. She was a bit surprised that Lin Yi came to pick her up. She thought that Lin Yi wouldn't come because this guy never came to pick her up. Whether she came to endorse products or to support Lin Yi's products, she came by herself. So this time, she didn't think that Lin Yi would come to pick her up. Lin Yi? You actually came. Su Shihan was very surprised. And you didn't bring a driver this time, nor did you bring a manager. Of course, I came to pick you up. Lin Yi nodded. How rare. Then let's go, I'm staying at Shueshang Hotel. Yi already booked a room for me. Su Shihan said. Su Shihan's words obviously meant that she was going to leave with Lin Yi. This made Zhang Duopan feel a bit embarrassed. He just swore to Lin Yi that he came for nothing, but from the looks of it, Su Shihan seemed to be very friendly towards Lin Yi. What was the relationship between these two? It didn't seem to be a simple hire. Senior sister, take our car later. Let's go to the hotel directly. We don't need to trouble your friend, right? Qing Yi saw that Zhang Duopan was unhappy, and she didn't mind helping him. This was just a small matter to her. No need, I'll take Lin Yi's car. Su Shihan smiled and said, see you at the hotel later. That's fine too. Qing Yi was also slightly dazed. Su Shihan actually rejected. What was the relationship between her and Lin Yi? Normally, in the company, when attending events, Su Shihan would often ride in the same car as her. Even if they weren't in the same car, Su Shihan would gladly agree if she invited her, but today, Su Shihan rejected. Seeing that Qing Yi was rejected, Zhang Duopan's face darkened even more. It seemed that picking her up at the airport was a bit unnecessary. Out of the airport, the two cars went on the highway one after another. Zhang Duopan was unhappy and didn't wait for Lin Yi. He stepped on the gas and the car flew out, speeding all the way back to the hotel. What is the relationship between that Lin Yi and Su Shihan? Why does he look like a good person? He doesn't even give you face. Zhang Duopan was very unhappy and complained. Maybe they're very good friends. Qing Yi wasn't angry and instead sent a text, the signal here doesn't seem to be very good. There might be a shield near the airport. Zhang Duopan said, you want to use a phone? You can use mine, I have a signal. Thanks, no need. I'll just send a text and tell the people in the company that I've picked up senior sister. Qing Yi waved her hand and said. Chapter 1977. Looks like Su Shihan really wanted to help them. Now I don't even have the slightest bit of confidence. This is so annoying. Zhang Duopan said. Book C Pavilion Net. There's nothing we can do about it. Sister Han is a big shot. It's good enough that we got second prize. Cheng Yi didn't care. Lin Yi didn't care about Zhang Duopan's speed at all. He didn't even chase after him. Instead, he drove at a constant speed on the airport highway. Under normal circumstances, Lin Yi wouldn't break the rules if it wasn't something important. Thank you for coming to our class's program despite your busy schedule. Lin Yi said to Su Shihan. Now I know that your appearance fee isn't low. Cheng Yi has connections, and she asked for 200,000. You're asking for more than her, right? That's right. Normally, I wouldn't go even if they paid me 1 or 2 million. Su Shihan said. I'm here because of you. It seems like my face is quite big. Lin Yi said. That's right. Do you think I'd go if someone asked me? Not to mention not paying, I wouldn't go even if they paid. Su Shihan said. Ha. Lin Yi smiled, but his face suddenly changed. The smile on his face turned serious as he said to Shihan, danger. Don't move. Ah. Su Shihan was startled. She didn't know what Lin Yi was talking about. But at the same time, 2 black Audi A6 dashed through the iron fence in the middle of the road. The iron fence was not far from Lin Yi's car, and the 2 A6 quickly stopped in front of Lin Yi's car. This sudden change made Su Shihan scream. Lin Yi seemed to be very calm and stopped the car. Behind Lin Yi, 2 Audi A6 drove over, sandwiching Lin Yi's car in the middle. Lin Yi couldn't move forward or backward. The reason why Lin Yi knew there was danger was because of the warning signal from the Jade. So Lin Yi knew in advance that danger was coming. Don't move in the car. Lin Yi looked at one of the 2 Audi A6 and frowned. The other 3 cars didn't matter to him, but the person in this car surprised Lin Yi. A mystic late-phase peak. Although to Lin Yi, this was nothing. He was already an Earth-class master. Mystic-class masters were like ants in his eyes. It was easy to stomp them to death. But this wasn't so simple. Who was the one who sent this mystic-class late-phase peak? Lin Yi didn't think that it was sent by his enemies. Unless they were stupid, they wouldn't send a mystic late-phase peak master to die. Last time, there were 3 Earth-class masters, and one of them was a late-phase Earth-class master, but Lin Yi burned them to ashes. Would they dare to send a mystic? That wasn't realistic. Book C Pavilion Net. But if it wasn't sent by them, then who sent it? Could it be a robbery? But robbery? He hadn't heard of a robbery on the highway at the airport. And Lin Yi's car was very low-key. It was a Grand Cherokee. It didn't blink. Lin Yi clearly saw a Rolls-Royce drive by, but he didn't see them rob it. And if it was just a simple robbery, wouldn't it be too wasteful to send a mystic late-phase peak master? But all these guesses were pointless. After Lin Yi told Su Shihan, he got out of the car. The mystic late-phase peak master didn't move. Instead, 3 men in black suits got out of the other 3 cars. They pointed their guns at Lin Yi. Kid, tell the people in the car to get out. Otherwise, don't blame us for shooting you. People in the car. Lin Yi was startled. Were these people trying to kidnap Su Shihan? It didn't seem like they were targeting him. Otherwise, no matter how powerful an enemy was, they wouldn't send 3 normal people with guns to aim at an Earth-class master, unless they were crazy. Shut up and do it. A man in black scolded. You're here for Su Shihan. Who sent you? Tell me, and I won't kill you. Lin Yi looked at the man in black and said indifferently. Ha! Kid, you want to kill us? The man in black thought that he had misheard and immediately laughed loudly. You mean, you can kill us? Is that so? Yes, since you missed the chance, there's no need to say any more. Lin Yi's hand shook, and a silver needle shot out, sinking into the man's chest. The man didn't even make a sound before falling to the ground. Lin Yi didn't even need to use pure qi to kill the man in black because he was just a normal person. At most, he was a cultivator who had just stepped into the door of martial arts. He wasn't even a golden class master. The other two people sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't think that this person would do it without any hesitation. The scariest thing was that they didn't see it clearly. They didn't know how Lin Yi killed the man in black. Hiss, you, who are you? One of the two men in black asked. It's your turn. Who sent you? Lin Yi asked. Who are you? Why are you here? The man in black asked nervously. You've also lost your value. Lin Yi shook his wrist, and the second man in black fell to the ground. You. The third man in black was stunned. He still did not know how his two companions died, so he subconsciously stuttered a little. After saying the word, you, a few times, he hurriedly looked at the Audi A6 beside him and said, Brother Sanlei, there's something wrong, please save me quickly. Actually, there was no need for the third man to speak. The man in black in the Audi A6 couldn't sit still anymore. He opened the door and got out of the car. It was a man wearing a black mask. The three people before didn't have their faces covered. Only a pair of cold eyes could be seen. He looked at Lin Yi coldly and said condescendingly, it seems that he values Miss Su quite a bit. He also sent a driver here. But your strength isn't enough. Although you have flying needles, you haven't cultivated pure qi yet. You can't use the natural qi around you. It seems that you're not a cultivator. Who sent you here? My patience is limited. Lin Yi said indifferently. Although Lin Yi wasn't afraid of trouble, it was obvious that this was the airport highway. There were a lot of cars coming and going. Lin Yi was afraid that Su Shihan's identity would be exposed. So, Lin Yi wanted to end this quickly. Chapter 1978. This palm was very casual. In his eyes, this palm could easily kill Lin Yi, but he didn't expect that Lin Yi also pushed out a palm as if he wanted to take this attack head-on. Moreover, Lin Yi's expression was like a smile that wasn't a smile, as if he wasn't afraid of this palm at all. Although the man in black was a bit confused, he didn't think too much about it. He naturally knew that this was a main road. Although he was from an ancient noble house and wasn't afraid of ordinary people, some things couldn't be overdone. After all, there was an ancient agreement. Bang! The two palms collided, and a muffled sound was heard. This sound made the black-clothed man relax, because he couldn't feel much power from Lin Yi at all. It seemed that Lin Yi was just a normal person. He had thought too much. However, in the next moment, the black-clothed man was stunned. Because, from Lin Yi's palm, a huge wave of qi suddenly came, instantly entering his meridians. In an instant, he felt as if a wave of qi that could topple mountains and overturn the seas surged over, breaking all the meridians in the black-clothed man's body. You're an early-stage Earth class. The man in black widened his eyes in disbelief. He didn't think that there would be an Earth class besides Su Shihan. Could it be that Feng Tianlin really valued Su Shihan that much? Thinking up to here, Feng Sanlei suddenly felt a little sad. He was the subordinate of Feng Tianlin's wife. The reason he came here was to secretly kill Su Shihan. This time, he got the news from the third son of Feng family, Feng Tianhu. He thought that without Feng Sanhuang, Feng Sanlei could easily kill Su Shihan, but Feng Sanlei smiled bitterly in his heart. He wanted to spread the news that there was a master besides Su Shihan, but he knew that it was just wishful thinking. In front of an Earth-class master, running away was just wishful thinking. Plus, if he was caught by Lin Yi, and if he were to be interrogated, then the situation would be unbearable. Thinking up to here, Feng Sanlai suddenly had a sudden burst of energy. He used all the strength in his body and slapped towards the remaining man in black, easily killing him. Then, he waved his hand and slapped towards his own face. Bang! The masked man's head was smashed by himself. His brain was broken beyond recognition, and his entire head had exploded. It was very disgusting. Lin Yi was secretly on guard. He was afraid that he would harm Su Shihan at the last moment, but he didn't think that this guy would kill his own people and then commit suicide. This kind of strange situation caught Lin Yi off guard. Originally, Lin Yi didn't kill him. Instead, he injured him to bring him back and interrogate him. He wanted to know who sent this guy. But this masked man was very decisive. He killed the only survivor of his own group and then committed suicide. It was a very cruel way to commit suicide. Looking at the mask of the masked man, and then looking at his broken head, Lin Yi vaguely guessed his purpose. He masked his face, which meant that he didn't want anyone to see or recognize him. He committed suicide in this way to destroy his own head so that no one would be able to recognize him. This person was very loyal. As for the other small fries who weren't practitioners, they probably weren't important people. He wouldn't be able to find anything from their faces. Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. It seemed that he was a bit careless. He only thought about Su Shihan's safety. He didn't think that the masked man would commit suicide. But it was already like this. Lin Yi couldn't do anything. Although it happened very fast, almost 2 to 3 minutes, Lin Yi saw the cars coming from behind and behind. He didn't dare to delay anymore. He ran to the 2 Audi A6 in front of the car and slapped them to the side of the road. Then, he quickly jumped into the Grand Cherokee and stepped on the accelerator. Su Shihan's face was very pale. Although she was in the car, she heard everything that happened outside. She also knew that these 4 people came for her. But who sent these 4 people? What was their purpose? Although Su Shihan had experienced similar kidnappings before, it wasn't as thrilling as this. The criminals' plans were all killed in the cradle by the police, and the people she faced weren't as vicious as this. In the end, they chose to commit suicide in such a cruel way. You're not scared, right? Lin Yi, on the other hand, had been through too many dangerous situations. What happened just now wasn't dangerous at all in his eyes. He'd even been stopped by the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect before, and he'd even been beaten by 3 Earth-class Book C Pavilion EF equals. Therefore, what happened just now seemed too ordinary. It's okay. Su Shihan patted her chest. Her chest rose and fell, but it betrayed her true thoughts. She was indeed very nervous. Who did you offend recently? Lin Yi asked. These people are obviously coming for you. I offended anyone? I don't think so. Su Shihan shook her head. If you want to talk about a sinner, it would be Dr. Kang's medical company. Last time, I attended your product launch. Other than that, I didn't offend anyone. Kang family, impossible. Lin Yi denied this possibility. If they want to find someone, they should be looking for me. Plus, they wouldn't send such a weak person. Then I really can't think of who I offended. Su Shihan seriously thought about it. Forget it, don't think about it. Give me that Feng Sanhuang's number. Lin Yi said. Feng Sanhuang. Why do you want his number? Su Shihan was dazed. He's your driver. He follows you everywhere you go. I'll ask him to help me think. Lin Yi didn't say much to Su Shihan. Intuition told Lin Yi that Feng Sanhuang should be the person protecting Su Shihan. The masked man also said that he didn't think that there would be someone protecting Su Shihan here. In other words, Su Shihan also had someone protecting her over there. The only possibility was Feng Sanhuang. So, Lin Yi planned to tell this to Feng Sanhuang. He wanted him to investigate and see if Su Shihan had offended anyone. Oh, okay. Su Shihan didn't think much about it. She nodded and told Lin Yi Feng Sanhuang's number. Lin Yi wrote down the number. He didn't call in front of Su Shihan. Instead, he called Yang Huijuan. Captain Eagle, are you looking for me? Huijuan picked up the phone. Chapter 1979. Yup, Junzi, just now on the airport highway, 4 Audi cars intercepted me. 2 of them were killed by me, and the other 2 committed suicide. Bring some men to control these corpses first. I'm afraid they'll destroy the evidence. Lin Yi said worriedly. Since the masked man could commit suicide in such a way, Lin Yi was afraid that there would be people coming to take the bodies away. What? Someone blocked you. Huijuan paused. What's going on? Which force is it? Noble House or? If it's someone from Noble House, it's best to let the investigation department do it. I don't know yet, but they're mystic late phase peak. Lin Yi said. Then I'll tell Captain Feng Tianlong, there's a practitioner, they should be the ones to deal with it, Huijuan said. Alright, Lin Yi nodded. Shihan, on the other hand, was confused. She didn't know what a mystic late phase peak was, what was a practitioner. She'd never come into contact with these things before. She'd heard Meng Yao and Yushu talking about Xiao Xiao before, and Tang Yun. Shihan sighed as she thought of this girl. He drove Shihan to the hotel, and no one blocked them on the way. It seemed like there were only 4 cars blocking them, but Lin Yi didn't let his guard down. He parked the car below the hotel, preparing to send Shihan up personally. He was the one who invited Shihan, so Lin Yi had the responsibility to protect her. Whether or not these people came for Shihan, Lin Yi had to protect her. If something happened, even Lin Yi wouldn't be able to forgive himself. Right, how are you so strong? Shihan was still in a state of fear, and now that she calmed down, she finally remembered. How was Lin Yi so strong? Not only did he kill 2 of them silently, but the other 2 were killed by his accomplice, and the other one committed suicide. It's all right, Lin Yi said faintly. When we get to the room, it's best not to mention these things. And, don't worry, your classmate is here, I won't say anything. Su Shihan nodded. Lin Yi wanted to tell Qing Yi not to talk about it, but after thinking about it, he didn't say anything. After all, she was Su Shihan's junior apprentice sister. It was their own business. The 2 walked into the hotel lobby. Su Shihan took out her phone and called Qing Yi. Senior sister. Have you arrived? Qing Yi was surprised to hear Su Shihan's voice. The radio just said there was a series of car accidents on the highway. Didn't you guys get stuck in traffic? We didn't. Su Shihan hesitated but didn't say anything. After all, Zhang Duopan was Lin Yi's classmate. That's good. You scared me to death. I was still scared at the time. How good would it be if you took our car? Su Shihan said. Ha, it's fine. Shihan smiled. Which room are you in? I'll go up now. I'm in room 1108. You guys can take the elevator up. Qing Yi said. Lin Yi and Su Shihan got in the elevator and went all the way to Qing Yi's room. What surprised Lin Yi was that Zhang Duopan wasn't in room 1108. Instead, he got a room in room 1105. Obviously, Qing Yi didn't want him in her room. If she wanted to talk, she would go to his room 1105. But Zhang Duopan was rich, so he didn't mind. You go in, I won't go. I'll wait for you outside. Lin Yi saw this and didn't follow. Okay. Su Shihan also knew Qing Yi's temper. Her room was usually only used by a few close sisters in the company and her manager. There was no one else. Lin Yi glanced at Zhang Duopan in the opposite room. The kid was on the phone. He didn't care about him. He turned and walked to the safe passage at the end of the corridor and called Feng Sanhuang. Hello, who are you looking for? Feng Sanhuang looked at the unfamiliar number and asked politely. Feng Sanhuang. Lin Yi asked. It's me, you are. Feng Sanhuang was secretly on guard. This person knew his name, but he still didn't know his identity. This person was definitely someone he wasn't familiar with, and it was impossible that Feng Sanhuang didn't have the phone number of someone he was familiar with, and it was impossible that he couldn't recognize his voice. Su Shihan's bodyguard. Lin Yi continued to ask. Who are you? Feng Sanhuang was even more shocked. No one knew that he was Su Shihan's bodyguard. Even Su Shihan herself didn't know about it. So when Lin Yi revealed his identity, he panicked a little. It seems like my guess was right. Lin Yi said. I'm Lin Yi. Earlier at the airport, there was a mystic class late phase peak who attacked us. I crippled him. I wanted to bring him back for interrogation, but he committed suicide. The way he did it was very disgusting. As he spoke, Lin Yi told Feng Sanhuang what happened. Feng Sanhuang was relieved when he heard that it was Lin Yi. Lin Yi saw through his strength and knew that he was Su Shihan's bodyguard. But what shocked him was that there was someone who intercepted Su Shihan. And in this period of time, Lin Yi seemed to have gotten even stronger. He could easily cripple a mystic class late phase peak. The last time he saw him, he was weaker than him. He wasn't even at the peak of mystic class late phase peak. But now, I didn't expect this. Brother Lin, thank you so much. Feng Sanhuang said gratefully. My flight tonight is to Donghai City. Please take care of Miss Su's safety. Please. When Feng Sanhuang knew that Su Shihan was coming to East Ocean City on his own, he booked a plane ticket with her. However, he was still one flight behind Su Shihan. Su Shihan's flight was at noon, and he was going to take the night flight. He didn't expect that something would happen in such a short time. He was sent by Feng Tianlin to protect Su Shihan. If Su, book Ocean Pavilion, soonest update EF equals, if something happened to Shihan, even if Feng Sanhuang died, he wouldn't be able to escape the blame. So he called Lin Yi Brother Lin. Of course, this was also because of Lin Yi's increase in strength. To be able to cripple a Mystic Class late phase peak meant that Lin Yi was at least at the peak of Mystic Class late phase peak. You're coming too. That's great. You can go investigate these people's background. Lin Yi said. As for Su Shihan's safety, you don't need to worry. With me by her side, nothing will happen. Alright, thanks for the trouble. Feng Sanhuang said respectfully again. Target equals _blank. Chapter 1980. Then I'll hang up first. Book C Pavilion. Lin Yi listened to Feng Sanhuang's pleading tone. He had no doubt that he was the one protecting Su Shihan in the dark, but which force did he belong to? Why was he protecting Su Shihan? What was Su Shihan's identity? Of course, this had nothing to do with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi didn't want to know at the moment. He and Su Shihan could only be considered as good friends at the moment. It wasn't convenient for him to ask. Not long after Lin Yi hung up, Su Shihan also came out. She came out with Qing Yi. Lin Yi, let's go to school to rehearse, don't waste time, Yi is going too. Su Shihan waved to Lin Yi. Okay. Lin Yi walked over quickly. Zhang Duopan also came out of his room at this time. He didn't expect to see Fan Ganhe in his room. He just came. Lin Yi didn't see him before. Zhang Duopan was a bit annoyed when he saw Lin Yi, but Fan Ganhe was even more annoyed. He liked Wang Xinyan, naturally, he wouldn't give Lin Yi any face. From Fan Ganhe's point of view, Lin Yi was the typical type of bastard who stood in the toilet but didn't shit. He always said that he had nothing to do with Wang Xinyan, but when they went out, they were still very close. Isn't this Lin Yi? Why didn't you bring Wang Xinyan? Could it be that you want to be alone with the superstar, and don't want anyone else? Fan Ganhe saw Lin Yi and wanted to say something sarcastic. Oh. Lin Yi responded, he didn't even look at him. Fuck. Fan Ganhe was infuriated, this was blatant disregard. Quarrel with people. He wasn't afraid of people scolding him back, he was afraid that people wouldn't even care about him, and his efforts would be in vain. He wanted to say something, but Lin Yi and Su Shihan were already walking towards the elevator. Fan Ganhe gritted his teeth, but it was useless. Whatever, Ganhe, there will be plenty of opportunities to deal with this kid. I plan to invite Himeiwa and her roommates to Tiger Park this weekend, we'll think of a way to humiliate them. Zhang Duopan sneered. He had no chance of winning at the freshman party, but he didn't plan to give up on Himeiwa, so he had to proceed to the next step. Okay. Listen to Brother Zhang. When the time comes, think of a way to teach them a lesson. Fan Ganhe nodded. In the teaching building of the biology department, in the classroom of the medicine department, the students were rehearsing the actions in the music video in full swing. And he walked in with Su Shihan, 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 Shihan. Shihan, Shihan Su, Shihan, Zhou, 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 Shan, up, Shihan. Seeing how serious everyone was, Su Shihan was a little surprised. She originally thought that it would be very difficult to bring a group of non-professional students to recreate the scene of the music video, but now it seemed that a lot of people were already doing it well. Ha! Bai Weitua also felt someone coming, but he didn't pay attention. He raised his head and saw a fully armed girl next to Lin Yi. Su Shihan. He paused for a moment but immediately guessed what was going on. Hee. Hello everyone. Shihan smiled and waved at Bai Weitua when she saw that someone recognized her. Hearing this heavenly voice, all the boys who were rehearsing stopped what they were doing. When they saw the person at the door, they couldn't help but widen their eyes. Someone cheered, Su Shihan is here. Ah, Su Shihan is here, it's really Su Shihan. Su Shihan, I love you so much, Lin Yi sweated. He quickly locked the classroom door. If the other students found out, they wouldn't need to rehearse anymore. They'd all come to see the celebrity. Everyone, quiet down. You guys are so loud. The students from the other classes would probably hear it. At that time, Feng Qiu at that time, I'm afraid we won't be able to rehearse anymore. Shihan smiled and made a shushing gesture. Needless to say, the power of a celebrity was not just for show. Just one gesture and the noisy classroom quieted down. Su Shihan, hello, I'm the class leader of the medical course, Bai Weitua. I'm also Brother Lin's follower. Bai Weitua ran in front of Shihan and introduced himself. Hee, hello. Since you're the class leader, tell me, how's your rehearsal going? In order to save time, I'll see your progress first and then decide on the next step, okay? Shihan heard that Bai Weitua was Lin Yi's follower, so her attitude towards him was very gentle, which made Bai Weitua feel very flattered. Shihan didn't have the air of a celebrity at all. This surprised all the students. They didn't expect Lin Yi to be so powerful. Not only did he invite Shihan, but she was also very polite and kind. Even Right Coiling Tiger was very jealous. He cursed in his heart. What kind of ability did this Lin Yi have to make Shirhan look at him in a different light? Okay, I'll tell you now. Bai Weituo quickly nodded. Lin Yi didn't listen to Bai Weituo's introduction anymore. He went back to his seat. The rehearsal had nothing to do with him anymore. Lin Yi didn't care. You don't follow celebrities. Lin Yi looked at Wang Xinyan in surprise. He realized that every time he saw her, she was always so quiet. Quiet like a pool of water, without any emotion. From the moment Lin Yi entered the classroom, Wang Xinyan had been flipping through the textbook in front of her. When Lin Yi sat down, she only raised her head and smiled at Lin Yi. Then, she continued reading. I like her songs. Most of the songs in my MP3 are her songs, but idols. Xinyan shook her head, a little regretful. I want to, but I don't have that much time to waste. I want to enjoy my university life as much as I can with the limited time I have. Limited time. Lin Yi was startled. He remembered the engagement between her and Zhao Long. He opened his mouth to say something, but closed it again. What identity should he use to make Wang Xinyan reject the engagement with House Kong? There are some things that you can't fight against. When you can't fight against it, you can only accept your fate. Wang Xinyan's expression seemed calm, but Lin Yi knew that not many people would be calm in this kind of situation. But Lin Yi didn't know what to say. He could only take it one step at a time. If he could destroy House Kong as soon as possible, Wang Xinyan would be able to relax a lot. What surprised Lin Yi was that Han Jingjing was also lying on the table, studying something. She was writing and drawing on the notebook in front of her. There were a lot of numbers and formulas. It made Lin Yi dizzy. To be continued. If you like this work, I welcome you to come to Starting Point and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1981. This girl can't be an alien, right? How can her thoughts be so weird? Lin Yi shook his head and didn't bother with her. Lin Yi was afraid that if he asked a random question, it would attract more questions. Wouldn't that be asking for trouble? Zhang Duopan was from the economics department. At this moment, his class was also busy rehearsing. But Zhang Duopan wasn't in a good mood. In comparison, his classmates were quite happy. Although they couldn't perform with a top star like Su Shirhan, Cheng Yi was still a rising star. Even if they couldn't get first place, getting second place was already quite an honor. Many classes wanted to get into the top 10 but couldn't. Because they didn't have a bet with Zhang Duopan, they were more relaxed. On the other hand, Zhang Duopan was depressed. He originally wanted to play a supporting role, but he didn't want to anymore. Going up was equivalent to embarrassing himself. It was better to be an inconspicuous cameo. Fan Ganha didn't participate in his class's program. He was Zhang Duopan's follower, so naturally, he would follow Zhang Duopan. Zhang bro, how about tonight, I find a gunny sack and put it on by Weituo's head. We'll beat him until he can't take care of himself. That way, he won't go on stage, and the program won't be his anymore. Doesn't that mean we'll win? Fan Ganha suggested. What do you mean by can't take care of himself? Are you stupid? If he gets beaten up, the first suspects will be us. When the school investigates, we won't be able to escape punishment. We have to think before we do things. Zhang Duopan wasn't stupid. He directly rejected Fan Ganha's suggestion. Bai Weituo is a freshman. He just came to the school. If there's a conflict, it's with us. Do you think everyone else is stupid? This. Fan Ganha really couldn't think of any other way to win the competition. Don't think about the competition. A loss is a loss. Zhang Duopan had already accepted it and didn't want to think about it anymore. An afternoon of rehearsal passed just like that, and at night, Cheng Yi asked Su Shihan to go shopping. It was the first time for both of them to come to East Ocean City, and they hadn't shopped in East Ocean City yet. Su Shihan didn't want to go. After all, something terrible had just happened. However, she didn't want to tell Cheng Yi, so she hesitated and decided to ask Lin Yi. When Lin Yi received Su Shihan's call, he had just sent Han Jingjing and Han Xiaoqiao back and entered the villa with Miss and Shu. Miss Su, what's the matter? Lin Yi saw that it was Su Shihan's call and picked it up. How many times have I told you, call me Xiao Han or Su Shihan? Isn't calling me Miss Su too distant? Su Shihan didn't like the way Lin Yi addressed her. Okay, Xiao Han, Lin Yi said. Cheng Yi wants to go shopping with me, but that thing happened on the highway, I'm a bit worried. Su Shihan said, I don't really want to go, but I don't want her to be a wet blanket. Oh, then I'll go with you guys. Wait for 10 minutes, Feng Sanhuang will be here. He'll rent a business car and we'll go together, Lin Yi said. Feng brother is coming too. Su Shihan was startled. She didn't know why Lin Yi called Feng Sanhuang, but Lin Yi took Feng Sanhuang's phone number before, so it must be Lin Yi who called Feng Sanhuang. And we'll go together later. Lin Yi couldn't reject Su Shihan's request. After all, he was the one who invited Su Shihan. Not only was he the host, but he also didn't spend a single cent of his appearance fee, so it was a bit unreasonable if he didn't act as a temporary bodyguard. Okay, we'll wait for you at the hotel, Su Shihan said. Go shopping. Go shopping. I want to go too. Yushu eavesdropped on Lin Yi's phone call. Is it with Xiao Han sis? Can we go? The miss was also a bit tempted. Forget it this time, let's talk about it next time, I'll go with you guys alone. It was the first time Lin Yi rejected the Miss and Shu's request. He briefly told them about what happened on the highway earlier in the afternoon. That's scary. Meng Yao and Yushu's faces changed. So I'm afraid that there will be danger at night. If you guys go, I'm afraid that I won't be able to protect you. Lin Yi said, these people are obviously coming for Su Shihan. And then we won't go. Lin Yi, be careful. Meng Yao naturally wouldn't pester him anymore. Xiao Han sis is your guest, don't let her get hurt. Ancient House Feng. A middle-aged woman with a gloomy face sat in front of Feng Tianhu. Although this woman was old, she was still attractive. There was an indescribable noble aura around her. Her identity was obviously not ordinary, but her face was very ugly at the moment. Tianhu, Sanlei is dead. You know, he is the most powerful master in my hands. The strength I have is limited. Your second brother is always on guard against me. I have no way to control the other masters, but the only master is actually dead. The middle-aged woman said bitterly. This second sister-in-law, that little girl has a master in Donghai City. I really didn't expect this. Feng Tianhu smiled bitterly. What do we do now? If your second brother comes after me, what should I do? The middle-aged woman obviously didn't have much of an idea. She was the kind of person who was impulsive and reckless. This didn't match her noble appearance at all, and now Sanwang has gone to Donghai City. In reality, she didn't have any ulterior motives. She was a rich young mistress. Marrying into House Feng was just a marriage alliance. Actually, you don't have to worry. Once Su Shihan is dead, there will be no evidence. I think second brother won't pursue it anymore, Feng Tianhu said faintly. Oh. So you already have a backup plan? The middle-aged woman asked. That's right. I've already sent Feng Erbeing. Even if Sanhuang goes, it'll be a waste. It'll only take a few minutes to kill him, Feng Tianhu said indifferently. Feng Erbeing. Earth class mid-phase. You can use a second-generation disciple of House Feng. The middle-aged woman widened her eyes in disbelief. Who doesn't have a trump card? Not only me, second brother probably has one too. Feng Tianhu sighed, if it wasn't to help you this time, I wouldn't want to reveal my trump cards so early. You have to keep it a secret for me. Chapter 1982. That's not a problem. The middle-aged woman didn't even think about it. In her eyes, fighting in the family wasn't important. Killing Feng Tianlin's mistress and little bastard was the most important thing. One had to say that Feng Tianlin's failure was marrying such a brainless and unruly woman. Although he had the support of her family, she didn't help him wholeheartedly and kept creating trouble for him. For someone like Feng Tianlin, who was the heir of an ancient house, who didn't have multiple wives and concubines. But his first love's flesh and blood had to be sneaky, and he couldn't even see her. This made Feng Tianlin very frustrated. He was a little envious of his big brother's choice back then. He didn't care about anything and just ran away from the marriage and married a woman from the common world, cutting off all ties with the ancient House Feng. He, on the other hand, didn't want to disappoint his father, and for his big brother's safety, he married this woman who was supposed to be his big brother's fiancée. What Feng Tianlin didn't expect was that this woman was really unruly, willful, and jealous. He didn't know where she got the news that he had a mistress and a daughter outside, but she actually brought people to kill him. His wife was nowhere to be found, and his daughter was only found many years later after much effort. Feng Tianlin hated his wife to the core. Although she was his wife, he didn't have any feelings for her. He still loved his first love, Su Shihan's mother. Feng Tianlin knew that his wife had gone to kill him, but he didn't do anything. Instead, he chose to endure it, because he knew that this was most likely caused by his third brother, Feng Tianhu. Feng Tianhu had always coveted the position of the young master. Otherwise, it would be impossible for such detailed information to be known by only a few close brothers. However, as Feng Tianhu's son, Feng Nidian, gradually revealed his talent, the old man placed more and more importance on Feng Tianhu. Feng Tianhu's power in House Feng was also growing, and this made Feng Tianlin even more cautious. He could only continue to endure until the day he truly controlled House Feng. At that time, he wouldn't be afraid of anyone anymore. Considering the many years of marriage and the face of their son, Feng Tianlin wouldn't do anything to his wife, but he definitely wouldn't force a smile to serve her every day like now. The first thing Feng Tianlin had to do after he became the head of the family was to bring his daughter back and announce to the public that she was his daughter. Moreover, he would find his older brother and bring him back to the Feng family. Although his older brother had been kicked out of the family by his father, a new ruler brought his own ministers. His father was the head of the family, and now, he, Feng Tianlin, was the head of the family. Feng Tianlin's relationship with his older brother was the best. Although they didn't share the same mother, they were closer than real brothers. This was also one of the important reasons why Feng Tianlin married his current wife in place of his older brother. If he didn't marry her, his father would blame his eldest brother even more and might even kill him. And this was what Feng Tianhu hoped for. He hoped that this marriage would be broken, and that his father would kill his older brother while his second brother would plead for mercy. This way, both of them would lose trust and both of them would be finished. His third brother would naturally take over. So, for his older brother, in order to prevent his third brother's plan from succeeding, Feng Tianlin gritted his teeth and persevered for so many years. However, Feng Tianhu, because of his son, Feng Nidian, seemed to be on the same level as him. This made Feng Tianlin's life more and more difficult. But not long ago, Feng Tianlin received a great news. Feng Tianhu's son, Feng Tianhu, was acting tough during the Ice Palace's test. He used his title of Strongest Below Earth class and was beaten into a cripple by an even stronger, Strongest Below Earth class. Feng Tianlin knew that his chance had come again. Although to House Feng, Feng Nitian's death wasn't a good thing, to Feng Tianlin, it was a good thing. However, Feng Tianlin didn't know that his wife was working with Feng Tianhu to deal with Su Shihan. So, when Feng Tianlin received Feng Sanhuang's call, he was shocked. What did you say? Someone was on the airport highway, trying to deal with Shihan. Feng Tianlin panicked. Yes, master, but Miss Su's friend took care of it. It's a mystic late phase peak master. Sanhuang told Feng Tianlin everything that had happened. What? Mystic late phase peak. Feng Tianlin was even more shocked. This was the first time that Su Shihan was attacked by such a powerful cultivator. Although there were kidnappings and robberies in the past, those were only done by some small gangs. This time, it was obviously not that simple. Plus, these men in black chose to commit suicide in such a cruel way after they failed. They obviously didn't want to expose their identity. Who sent them? Could it be his wife? Or his third brother? Thinking of this, Feng Tianlin's heart skipped a beat. Su Shihan's identity was a secret. Although he found Su Shihan, he never acknowledged her. How did his wife and brother know about it? Do you know who did it? Feng Tianlin asked. I'm not sure yet. I just arrived at Donghai City. I heard that the bodies were taken away by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I need to find someone I know. I don't know if they can see it. Feng Sanhuang said. Although the ancient noble houses had absolute power, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau might not give them face. It was a complicated organization. If there's no other way, forget it. Feng Tianlin wanted to say something but shook his head. In this situation, he couldn't contact that person before he had a firm foothold. If he did, it would be against the family rules. Feng Tianhu would be looking for trouble. Okay, master, I'll try my best. Feng Sanhuang said. When Lin Yi arrived at the hotel, Feng Sanhuang was there as well. He was driving a Buick GL8. Seeing Lin Yi, Feng Sanhuang jumped out. Brother Lin, thank you for today. Feng Sanhuang actually bowed to Lin Yi this time. Lin Yi paused. He felt that Sanhuang's words had exceeded a normal bodyguard's. Even if he was Su Shihan's bodyguard, he didn't need to go through all this formalities. Mr. Feng, Lil Han came to my place, and it's my duty to protect her. There's no need to thank me, but I see that you seem to care a lot about Su Shihan. You like her. Chapter 1983. Book Ocean Pavilion Chapter 1995, Being Followed, Pht. Ahem. Sanhuang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the first half of the sentence, but the second half made him choke. I was actually asked by someone to protect Miss Su, but it's a secret kind of protection that Miss Su doesn't know about. In Miss Su's eyes, I'm just a normal chauffeur and bodyguard, not a practitioner, so please keep it a secret, Brother Lin. Sanhuang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the second half. Oh. I get it, you're the celebrity's bodyguard. Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all after hearing Sanhuang's words, because he was the school beauty's bodyguard. It was just that the nature of his job was different from Sanhuang's. Lin Yi was in the light, and Sanhuang was in the dark. You can say that. Sanhuang saw that Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all, and felt that Lin Yi wasn't a normal person. Brother Lin, if I may be so bold, your current strength, Earth class. Lin Yi didn't hide it, but he didn't say whether it was early, mid, or late stage Earth class. After all, San Huang and Lin Yi weren't that close, and Lin Yi didn't want to say too much. Hiss. San Huang took a deep breath. The last time he saw Lin Yi, he was still a peak mid-mystic class, and now he was an Earth class. Thinking back to what Lin Yi had said to him, "Don't think that just because you're a peak late mystic class, you can talk big in front of me." Could it be that Lin Yi was an Earth class back then, but he suppressed his strength to peak mid-mystic class, and not an Earth class? If that was the case, then why did he shamelessly threaten Lin Yi? Feng Sanhuang blushed just thinking about it. No wonder Lin Yi wasn't afraid at all and directly threatened him back then. It turned out that he was suppressing his strength. Of course, Feng Sanhuang didn't think that Lin Yi could jump from mystic mid-phase peak to Earth class in just a few months. That speed of leveling up was like riding a rocket. It would be amazing if he could break through a small class in just a few months. "Brother Lin, I've offended you before. Miss Su's safety will be in your hands later." Feng Sanhuang's attitude towards Lin Yi was even more respectful. Lin Yi waved his hand and didn't say anything else. Instead, he pointed in the direction of the hotel and said, "They're out. Let's not talk about this anymore." "All right." Lin Yi's words were exactly what Feng Sanhuang wanted. Feng Sanhuang didn't want to discuss this in front of Su Shihan. "Xiao Han." Lin Yi greeted Su Shihan. As for Cheng Yi, Lin Yi only nodded to her. But Cheng Yi didn't seem to mind. She didn't seem to like talking to Lin Yi. She pulled Su Shihan and got in the MPV. Lin Yi sat in the front passenger seat, and Feng Sanhuang naturally became the driver. Although Feng Sanhuang wasn't familiar with the terrain of Donghai City, he was Su Shihan's professional driver. He was very good at finding the way. He only needed to look at the GPS to know how to get there. He started the car and went straight to the busiest commercial street in Donghai City. On the way, Su Shihan and Cheng Yi were discussing something. But Lin Yi wasn't interested in listening. It was mostly about how to make up, how to be beautiful, and how to have a good body. After a few turns, Feng Sanhuang arrived at the commercial street and parked the car in the parking lot nearby. "I didn't expect Donghai City's commercial street to be so busy this late." Su Shihan looked at the street outside the car window and said in surprise. "Donghai City is a provincial city. Naturally, there are a lot of shops that are open 24 hours. Lin Yi said. "Thank you, Lin Yi. It's so late, but you came out to shop with us. Sorry for disturbing your rest." Su Shihan said gratefully. Cheng Yi frowned. It was a great honor for a normal person to be able to come out with a big star. Zhang Duopan wanted to come along, but she rejected him. Why was Su Shihan begging Lin Yi? "It's okay." Lin Yi and Feng Sanhuang walked behind Su Shihan and Cheng Yi, as if they were their bodyguards. Su Shihan probably didn't have many opportunities to go shopping. Everything she saw was new. Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. Although celebrities seemed to be famous, they didn't have much time. Every day, they just had to work and work. Cheng Yi, on the other hand, had a lot of knowledge about brands and shops. She was the one who brought Su Shihan to shop. Feng Sanhuang, on the other hand, was very nervous. He was always on guard. His eyes kept looking around as if he was afraid of missing something. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at his seriousness. "I say, Sanhuang, you don't have to be like this, right? Relax a bit. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Xiao Han will be fine, but you'll be so nervous." "Brother Lin, I have to kill the danger in the cradle." Feng Sanhuang smiled bitterly. "I'm different from you. I have to ensure Miss Su's safety. Especially after what happened today. It's okay. I'll watch for you. I'll tell you if there's any danger. Lin Yi said. Although Lin Yi said that, Feng Sanhuang saw that Lin Yi didn't seem to be on guard at all times. So, he didn't relax at all. From his point of view, Lin Yi was an outsider. No matter what, he wouldn't be very careful. He, Feng Sanhuang, was different. Lin Yi looked at Feng Sanhuang and shrugged. He didn't say anything. Along the way, the four of them went to most of the shops on the street. Shirhan seemed to be especially addicted to shopping, including the shops that sold mobile cases, small accessories. She would go to all of them, even buying one or two small things before leaving reluctantly. This situation made Lin Yi sigh. Miss Su's work is actually very busy. Book Ocean Pavilion. She's a very hard-working person. She hasn't followed any unspoken rules. Her current results are all from her own efforts. Although I've helped her along the way, it's also related to her own purity. If she wants to abandon herself to vice, I can't do anything about it. Feng Sanhuang saw Lin Yi sigh. He knew what Lin Yi was thinking. He explained. Plus, she used to have headaches that could act up at any time. That's why she didn't have the chance to go shopping. Luckily, you helped her, Lin Yi nodded. He didn't answer. He also felt that something was wrong. Lin Yi had been laughing at Sanhuang earlier, telling him not to be so careful, but now, he felt as if he was being followed and watched. It was a feeling that came from the sixth sense he had when he was doing missions in the primeval forest. Book C Pavilion, target equals _blank. Chapter 1984. Book C Pavilion. Because the jade didn't give any warning, it meant that either he was wrong, or the enemy was too far away, out of the jade's detection range. But Lin Yi was leaning towards the first possibility, because Lin Yi wouldn't be wrong about this feeling. Lin Yi took a deep breath, and started to be on high alert. But for the rest of the journey, this feeling was very faint, and the jade didn't give any warning. This feeling made Lin Yi very doubtful. Was there someone following him, or did they intend to harm him? After that, Lin Yi still couldn't find the person following him. Either this person was an absolute master, and could follow him from a distance, or he was too vigilant because of what happened during the day. There's beef noodles here too. Cheng Yi pointed at the signboard of an alley next to the pedestrian street. What, Yi, you like to eat this? Su Shirhan asked curiously. Yeah, I've liked to eat it since I was young. It's been a long time since I've had it. Cheng Yi said, No, I must go eat it today. Oh right, I forgot, your hometown seems to have this kind of noodles. Su Shirhan nodded. Since we're here, let's go eat a bowl. Okay. Cheng Yi nodded and said excitedly. But the alley looks dirty, and there's no one around. Can we eat this? Su Shirhan walked 2 steps and looked at the dark alley full of trash. She was a little hesitant. It's okay, I used to eat it when I was young. Cheng Yi said. Okay, then let's go try. Su Shirhan hesitated and decided to accompany her. Seeing the two of them going into the alley, Lin Yi instinctively felt that something was wrong, but he didn't know how to stop them. While he was hesitating, Su Shirhan and Cheng Yi had already walked into the alley. Lin Yi had no choice but to follow with Feng Sanhuang. Feng Sanhuang's expression became more cautious and vigilant. He wanted to dissuade her. Su Shirhan, Book C Pavilion. Why did they have to come to this kind of place? There were clearly a lot of snacks there, but they just had to eat noodles. However, this idea was suggested by Cheng Yi, and Feng Sanhuang wasn't her driver or bodyguard, so he couldn't say anything. The alleyway was very dark, there was no one and no light, there was a kind of eerie feeling. Su Shirhan was a little nervous. After all, this kind of eerie and dark scene reminded her of some bad memories. Su Shirhan subconsciously frowned and used both hands to press on her temples. Sister Han, what's wrong? Ching-yi saw Su Shirhan's nervous face and quickly asked, is your headache acting up again? Shirhan nodded and quickly took out a bottle of Miracle Dr. Guan painkiller from her bag and poured it into the bottle. Medium, Ching-yi rubbed Su Shirhan's temples and said with concern, Han sis, why don't we stop eating? Let's go back. Since you're here, let's go eat, don't spoil the mood. Su Shirhan forced a smile, it's fine, don't worry about me, but... Ching-yi looked at Su Shirhan's frowning face, still a little worried. However, as the two were arguing, Lin Yi sneered, since you're here, then come out, what's the point of hiding? Is this the behavior of an Earth-class mid-phase master? What? There's an enemy. Feng Sanwang heard Lin Yi's words and jumped. Su Shirhan and Ching Yi were shocked as well. Two men in black came out from the darkness in front of the alleyway, but their faces were still covered with black masks, so people couldn't see their faces clearly. You're not simple. You can actually sense my presence, and you can even say my strength. Friend, which path are you on? I advise you not to get involved in this mess, it's none of your business here. One of the men in black was obviously afraid of Lin Yi, which was why he said these words. Of course, he was planning to ambush Lin Yi, but Lin Yi was able to see through his whereabouts. He was quite angry at Lin Yi, but he had other important things to do today, and he couldn't see through Lin Yi's strength, so he didn't want to cause more trouble. Moreover, he naturally wouldn't think that Lin Yi was tricking him to come out. After all, if Lin Yi could say his strength, it meant that he had already been discovered. In actuality, Lin Yi really didn't find any traces of this Earth-class mid-phase black-clothed man. It was through the jade that he found the movements of the other black-clothed man, a mystic late-phase peak master. Through this person, Lin Yi caught a faint trace of energy beside him, and that was how he found the black-clothed man. Why would I stand here if it's none of my business? Lin Yi looked at the man in black like he was looking at an idiot. If it's none of my business, why would I find your traces and say your strength? Do you think I have nothing better to do? You go deal with Su Shirhan, I'll take care of this. The Earth-class man's face turned cold, and he ordered the mystic next to him. Yes. The black-clothed man nodded and flew towards Shirhan, throwing a punch at her. Obviously, he wanted to kill Shirhan with one punch. Lin Yi had been observing the reactions of these two, and when he saw the movements of the black-clothed man, he sneered, and his side also started to move. He used a bit of force in his legs and flew towards the mystic next to Su Shirhan. In order to confuse the mystic in front of him, Lin Yi had been suppressing his strength, making it seem like he was only a mystic class mid-phase peak. The purpose of this was to kill the mystic class late-phase peak in one hit, and then he could focus on dealing with the Earth-class mid-phase master. Lin Yi didn't have the slightest confidence in winning against someone 2 levels higher than him, and he was a bit nervous, so he had to kill all the uncertain factors in the cradle. Although Lin Yi wasn't afraid of this mystic late-phase peak, with him here, if Feng Sanwang couldn't stop him and allowed him to attack Su Shirhan, then Lin Yi would have to send a clone over to save her. He didn't have the confidence to win in the first place, and if that happened, then there would be even less of a chance. Although Lin Yi had fought many Earth-class masters before, Boss Yu had just entered the Earth class and hadn't learned any martial arts yet, so Lin Yi was able to intimidate him when he was still a mystic, and the follower of Right Coiling Tiger, Lin Yi was having trouble dealing with him. If it wasn't for the Qi Bomb, Lin Yi wouldn't have been able to deal with him so easily. Book Ocean Pavilion, target =_blank. Chapter 1985. Book C Pavilion Chapter 1997, Who will be the winner? As for the other 3 Earth-class warriors, Lin Yi used his fire poison chi to burn them to ashes. But this move could only be used once, it was impossible to use it a second time. The only thing Lin Yi could rely on now was the first 3 moves of the Frenzy Fist. He didn't know if it would be enough to fight against this Earth-class mid-phase man. Humph. The mystic late-phase peak looked at Lin Yi coldly. When he saw that Lin Yi was only a mystic mid-phase peak master, a trace of disdain appeared on his face. Since you're so eager to die, I'll fulfill your wish. As he said that, his target changed from Su Shihan to Lin Yi. He raised his palm slightly, as if waiting for Lin Yi to attack. It wasn't that he was arrogant, but in his eyes, Lin Yi was only a mystic mid-phase peak master, and he was a mystic late-phase peak master. The 2 of them were 2 whole levels apart. If he couldn't kill Lin Yi like that, then it would be strange. So, the mystic class man in black looked at Lin Yi with pity in his eyes. In his eyes, Lin Yi was already a dead man. However, Lin Yi didn't seem to notice the danger at all. He still rushed towards the mystic. Not good. The Earth-class man's heart skipped a beat. He yelled at the mystic, "Careful. Don't fight him head-on." The Earth-class man felt that Lin Yi was a mystic mid-phase peak master, so he didn't put him in his eyes at first. But, he suddenly thought that something wasn't right. If Lin Yi could tell that he was an Earth-class mid-phase master, then how could he not see that the mystic was a mystic late-phase peak master? If that was the case, then Lin Yi, a mystic mid-phase peak master, going to fight a mystic late-phase master head-on, wasn't there something wrong with his head? Either that, or he was courting death. More importantly, how did Feng Sanlei die? Feng Sanhuang hadn't arrived at East Ocean City at that time. Even if he had arrived at East Ocean City, it wouldn't have been easy to kill Feng Sanlei. They were all disciples of the Feng family. What Feng Sanhuang knew, Feng Sanlei also knew. In this kind of situation, it was the most difficult to determine the winner and loser. Even if they couldn't win, staying alive was not a problem. And if Feng Sanlei could fall here, then Su Shihan must have a master beside her. However, since that expert wasn't Feng Sanhuang, the only one left was Lin Yi. Su Shihan and Ching Yi couldn't be that powerful. So when he realized that something was wrong, the man in black immediately warned the man in black. However, he was too slow. The man in black still needed some time to react after hearing his words. At this time, Lin Yi's palm was already pressed on the man's palm. Too late. Lin Yi shouted coldly. With a loud bang, the man in black's body flew out like an arrow. After flying in the air for some distance, he crashed into the wall of the alley not far away. You're not mystic mid-phase peak. You're Earth early phase. This was the last thing the man in black said as he slid down the wall. Then, he spat out a mouthful of blood, his vision went black, and he died. Despicable, how dare you trick me? The man in black's eyes were filled with anger. He wanted to burn Lin Yi to death. He didn't think that Lin Yi would use a method to hide his strength and kill one of his people first. Trick me. Lin Yi patted the dust off his hands and curled his lips, he's just too arrogant. Can't you see that? You. The man in black was speechless. He couldn't refute Lin Yi. Indeed, if Lin Yi were to trick him, it was because the man in black was too arrogant. If he had been more careful, he wouldn't have ended up like this. With that thought, the man in black took a deep breath and looked at Lin Yi with hatred. He pointed at Lin Yi and said, I don't care who you are. If you want to get involved in this mess, then don't leave. You and your family will pay the price of blood for your meddling. What did you say? Lin Yi frowned. A hint of hatred flashed across his eyes. This person dared to use his family to threaten him. This made Lin Yi's heart surge with rage. No matter what, he had to make this person stay here. Not for anything else, but for Meng Yao, Yushu, and all his friends. When you're dead, I'll investigate your identity. I'll visit your friends and family one by one. The man in black smiled sinisterly. This is the consequence of killing my people. If that's the case, then it's either you die or I die. I won't rest until I die. Lin Yi looked at the man in black coldly, but his heart was filled with caution. This man was too evil. If Lin Yi didn't make him stay here, then what awaited him would be unbearable revenge. I won't rest until I die. You think you're worthy? The man in black said as his chi surged out of his body. His Earth-class mid-phase strength was on full display. We don't know who's going to die yet. It's too early for you to say that. Lin Yi took a deep breath and started channeling his practitioner's arts, showing off his Earth-class early phase strength. But early phase was still early phase, it wasn't the peak. Compared to the man in black, there was still a difference of 2 levels. The Earth-class black-clothed man looked at Lin Yi and Feng Sanhuang, deep in thought. Try Huang, take Xiao Han and the others and hide behind. Lin Yi could guess what the man in black was thinking. He moved his feet slightly and quietly stood in front of the man's attack. Just now, Lin Yi had ambushed one of the mystic black-clothed men, and he must have incurred the wrath of this Earth-class black-clothed man. So, he probably had the idea of getting rid of Feng Sanhuang first. This way, Su Shihan would have no one to protect her, and he could take advantage of the chaos to get rid of Su Shihan. After that, the mission would be completed. Book Ocean Pavilion. It was no longer a problem for him to fight to the death. But since Lin Yi saw through his thoughts, naturally, he wouldn't let it happen. That's fine. Feng Sanhuang didn't want to be a deserter, but he knew that the difference in strength between him and his opponent was too big. Staying here was equivalent to being a hindrance to Lin Yi, and Lin Yi had to split his attention to take care of him and Su Shihan. There was no way he could win. So Feng Sanhuang only hesitated for a moment before quickly pulling Su Shihan and Qing Yi to a place far behind Lin Yi. Humph. The man in black was a bit annoyed that Lin Yi saw through his thoughts. Book Ocean Pavilion, target equals _blank. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.